Greetings and welcome to Unveiling Reality. How's everybody doing this evening? Hope you're all doing and living well. Welcome to the show. Let's start off by thanking those awesome Winner Circle members who support the channel on a monthly basis for about the cost of a tank of gas. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. And a special thanks to Shelly and Wolfram who support us over on Rumble as well. And we are broadcasting live tonight on Rumble and YouTube. And away we go. All right, let's say hello to all of those wonderful people out there in the crowd. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Thank you, Heidi, for dropping that. Appreciate you. How you doing? How you doing? Wolfram, thank you so much for dropping these links, my friend. Remember, when you're here, listen to the wolf. He knows what he's talking about. He wipes his paws, he lopes in, and he howls. And the alpha mod is here. Memento Mori, how's it going, my friend? Good to see you. There is Shelly over on the Rumble sides. The spicy hellos from Shelly, talking trash and truth, giving big hugs. The hostess with the mostest. She's here with us as always. Thank you, Shelly. Awesome to see you. And we got T-Rex Trucking and more. Hello, everybody. Today totally sucked. All right, today sucked. Good. Member for 16 months. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and for being such a great friend, man. Appreciate you, T-Rex Trucking and more. And the and more today is sucks. All right. Away we go. Oh, member for 20 months. It started okay here, T-Rex. Oh, it's member for 20 months. Thank you so much, Shelly. She is a solution architect, by the way. She's at the highest level and she rocks this world. Make sure you guys subscribe to both Shelly and T-Rex. They do great streams. And Shelly is does very awesome streams, as everybody here knows. So make sure you're subscribed to her on YouTube and Rumble. We need to get Shelly's channel cooking. Jedi Rock, what's up? Welcome to the show. Good to see you over there on the Rumble side. Thank you for being here this evening. I hope you enjoyed the show. We are going to do tonight, we're going over Dronepocalypse 2024. This is a conglomeration of data gathering as we pull the big board up here that we've been putting together. We'll see where we're at, and we're going to be adding to this board, moving things around, looking at all of the sightings and all the different reports that I've been gathering up over these past several weeks. Here is the big board right here, and it's hard to see at this level, but as I scroll in, you get to see more and more of what's going on here. And we'll be starting out with these situation reports tonight. We'll be going down just kind of going over the entire situation from start to finish as best we can. It's not complete, but it's got a good rough timeline going on there. And as things come up, I've been adding them to the board. We got some other occurrences that, of course, have happened in the last 24 hours since my breaking news stream last night. I will be going over those as well. Things, this narrative is constantly shifting and moving and spurring out and going on tangents and all kinds of other stuff. And as time goes on, more and more of what it really is will reveal itself. As always, the results speak for themselves. And we'll be taking a look at all of these different buckets here, as well as putting together some ideas. This is a very interactive stream, so you guys will be part of this analysis as we go through and start adding things and removing things from the bucket. A lot of these possibilities that came up originally are slowly making their way off the board. We've taken off Secret Service. We've taken off a few other things that just don't seem to make any sense. Alien invasion went off really fast, of course. But we throw every possibility into the bucket. All right, and if we have more, we'll put more in there. But we throw them all out there, and then we just kind of whittle them away until they don't make sense anymore, and then they're gone. Right? That's how we get to the root cause of what's going on. Possible explanations. And I just want to remind everybody, my initial gut reaction, I've put it out here. When I first saw this coming out, and I actually spoke out and said, I said when it first came out that I felt like this was going to be a big story. and like it was going to take off. And from the early reporting sightings in New Jersey, um, to now, it really has become a dominant part of the news cycle. In fact, it's pretty much what everybody's talking about, although there are other things still going on in the world, which I will cover tomorrow night on Winning 2024. I'll get back out of the drone paradigm here, out of the drone narrative, and I'll get back to what's going on around. And there's a lot of interesting stuff happening in the world of politics and our country and so on. So that'll be tomorrow night for Winning 2024. A big show because I didn't do another one this week. I'm probably gonna scale that show down to one show a week now, at least for now, and then we'll have specials for Winning 2024 to wrap that show up because 2024 is coming to a close. We'll be wrapping that show up and kicking off probably Winning Tonight. I think that's probably what's gonna be called. I keep changing the name, but it's okay. So yeah, my initial gut reaction was this is a national security paradigm shift to roll out the normalization of drone technologies in everyday life. And it seems to be holding true, though we do keep in mind and explore all the possibilities that are out there. And there's some big narratives that are going on as we speak. And then we kind of pay attention to where those narratives are coming from, and do they make sense, and are they panning out? And as we keep moving forward, that's how we do root cause analysis. We're not jumping the shark here. We're not confirming any biases. I have my initial gut reaction, but that's not, that's just there. That's just, it's kind of like what I said with the January 13th thing. I said it was a communication breakdown. That was my initial gut reaction. And as things went on and we started reviewing body cam footage and putting together a timeline, we found that indeed was the case. And so I just put that out there, and it doesn't mean it, like I'm not trying to make this happen. I'm just saying that's what I thought when I first saw it. So that's it. But we want to work towards getting our most likely explanation, right? That's where we want to be. We want to make sure that we are debunking any kind of misinformation that's out there, and we're calling out grifts that are out there. We've been doing that through breaking news and other videos I've been putting out here. So those are in those buckets where they belong. And we're going to be taking a look at these base takes tonight, including one that went down today by Rand Paul. Wow. He came out and along this new narrative of government legislation that has just raised its head here in the last couple of weeks, and has now come down to actually trying to pass legislation today. And we're going to talk about what that means and how that probably works into everything. But we'll have to go back here from the beginning and talk about how this whole thing started and exactly what it means. So that will be with these situation reports. But before I get to that, let's get back to the crowd over here. And I'm streaming tonight at 720 instead of 1080. So I'm hoping that maybe cuts down on some of the lagginess that I've been seeing. And yeah, the funny thing about Project Bluebeam is that there's actually papers out there for Project Blue Book. And I wonder how many times people are saying Project Bluebeam when they mean Project Blue Book. That was just a UFO thing too, from back in the 40s and 50s. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on like that. But that's in the grift bucket. We know that that's not going on. There's no giant messiahs appearing. There's no voices in our head. That's all part of Project Bluebeam, which I did a stream on a long time ago, explaining exactly where that came from and what the ins and outs of that whole the conspiracy theory is, and why it's very outdated. So it's funny to hear people bring it up. It's funny, but thank you for saying that, Jedi. I appreciate it. And thank you for being here. And feel free to speak up. We like to hear people chatting away. I know sometimes it gets lonely over there on Rumble, but there's always somebody over there watching that'll interact with you. And I'll especially I will throw your comments up on stream if someone's watching from a platform with there's not a lot of chat going on. I try to make sure that your comments get out here if they're relative to what I'm talking about, as well as anybody else out in the crowd. They know that too. All right. Let's see. The beginning of human Skynet. Please state. Think in terms of the book 1984. Wolfram. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? We're gonna go down that rabbit hole tonight as well. We're gonna go down the what's going on, and I think this is the time when you have to kind of listen to what the establishment's talking about, and you have to let's see, you have to read between the lines of what they're saying, right? And that's when I pull up people like Schumer and so on that are out there all of a sudden becoming a mouthpiece for it in his little sweater. I've got a sweater now. I'm like Mr. Rogers over here, you know. Um, you gotta read between the lines like we did last night on the breaking news segment I did, where we're hearing them. What are they really after? What are they always after? What are they always after? They're always after more government authority and more excuses to spend money. And that's exactly what we heard from them as they've been speaking. And that's exactly what I think we're gonna find today and what in the latest from them and what Rand Paul kind of pushed back against. A fix. What is up, dude? Where have you been? What have you been doing? I've been trying to get your attention for like months, dude. What have you been up to, dude? What is going on in your world? Afix, the man, the myth, the legend in the house. What have you been doing, dude? You haven't even noticed how I've been trying to get your attention in your Discord when I leave show notes. I always include I used to, like when I do promos. Oh boy, you got some like drone vids from your friends a couple days ago if you want. Yeah, send them in Discord. I'll look at them. This is what the show's about. We're gonna look at everything. We're gonna look at it all. And we have to take a look at the big board here, and we have to go into why so many people with friends happen to have so many videos going on these days, and where they're coming from and what they mean, right? And how we can like this work through the noise here that's going on. There's so much noise out there, so much noise. A lot of it is just the people. More and more people are getting drones and using them. Heck, I almost bought one the other day. And uh, and then there's also this, the FCC lifted the ban on flying drones at night. That's an uptick too. We got a lot of things to kind of go through, and it's going to be sometimes a little bit of this is going to be all over the place because I'm ADD and that's how I do it. But it's going to all come together in the end. Ask anybody who knows me. That's how it works, right? That's how it works. I go and I go this way and that way, and then it all comes back, and then it all makes sense when you're there from the end, because that's when I pull it all together, and you're like, oh wow, I wouldn't even gone that far out this way and that way, but when you do, you pull it all back together, it makes sense. So it'll be what it is, and we'll do our best to make sense of it. But let's start with these situation reports right here. The situation kind of started with this mass reporting of drones, specifically in New Jersey, and I put that, of course, in there just to tease Shelly because I like to mess with her because she's so cute. And then from the sources that were coming in, the reports we're getting reports from the ground from amateur experts shooting videos that swear to God they're seeing things and they know what they are. Sources are stating multiple size and variety of drones, right? So we noted that. And initially, and I believe still, sources state activities mainly between sunset and before midnight, right? That's when we see the majority of these things going on. And you see about a what's that, 5:36, 5:36, that's half, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about a 5.5 hour window there of things going on, which is probably like around battery life for like somebody with 2 or 3 batteries. I don't know. But different people launching at different times. And then I guess people decide they want to go and get some sleep and whatever drone activity is going on. Now, there's a few different things that can be spawned off of this, but let's take a look first at just the reports that are coming in. They've been observed fully lit and with predictable flight paths, reportedly, in some cases, in other cases, no. So one thing that I will point out is that through predictable flight paths, we've only heard a few reports of that, and not many observations otherwise. That's mainly out of the New Jersey area that came out. And noted by the FBI that 3,000 plus reports since this is a few days old, since November 18th. November 18th is a key date here. Averaging about an average of 92 sightings per day. I believe that's gone up as well. So let me check back on the crowd here. I got 2 screens here. So I'm doing the board. I'm looking to my left. I'm looking over away from where the chat is on my right. So I have to make sure I look back. Sit the sound differences in context of distance and height. Okay, cool. We'll be pulling those up here in just a minute. Fix, my friend. Listen, like I told Shelly last night, you talked to Shelly last night? When? She was asleep. Last night, the drones are simply looking one and for all for Bigfoot and the New Jersey Devil. Yeah, that makes the most sense. Yeah, scanning for Hoffus remains. Yep. I know several people that fly drones. It's becoming a common hobby. Yeah, absolutely. And as you know, the other thing too, I pointed out last night that this is you got a 3-year pattern of people flying or of drones flying over military bases between Thanksgiving and New Year's. 3-year pattern. This is the year that it really blew up. But for 3 years, there's been a pattern of this happening this time of year. Why? That's an important thing to note. And another note, of course, he didn't have filmed in portrait and should be gulagged for it, or at least banned from using lenses technology for life. 2+ years internet ban, but I digress. Yes, you do. Oh man, these are fixed wings. Okay, and where's your friend from? Where is this? Up in Pennsylvania? Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? We had a dude from Pennsylvania in here last night. Hopefully he'll come back. He was pretty helpful. And what up, Afix? Very weird, but definitely propeller sounds. Yeah. And a lot of misinterpretations of what people are saying, because people on the ground are we're gonna go through some sighting stuff video here. I'm just doing the board intro right now, and we'll be taking a look at this. Most reports are being dismissed as manned aircraft operating lawfully. So let's go in here and see what this has to say.
Former Governor Larry Hogan shot this video last night. These lights over his hometown in Davidsonville, just 25 miles from the nation's capital, as he pointed out. And then there's this.
I've never seen that. Wow, they just passed each other. Yeah, I've never seen that before.
New Jersey Senator Andy Kim shared this video of drones he shot yesterday. Federal authorities insist most of these sightings are actually legally manned aircraft. But Senator Kim says he checked a flight tracker app while capturing this video, and that the devices he was capturing were not on it. The sightings are happening near LaGuardia Airport, too. Officials say they
near the airport
received unconfirmed reports of drone activity over that busy airport. As for numbers, the FBI says it's received more than 3,000 tips from the public about drone sightings going back to November 18th, all over New Jersey. Since then, there's been an average of 92 sightings per night and expanding across half a dozen states. In a joint statement, the FBI and Department of Homeland Security said, quote, "We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or public safety threat, or that they have a foreign nexus." Lawmakers, however, aren't buying it and are pushing for answers and action. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and 2 other senators wrote a letter calling for a briefing with the FBI and Homeland Security. While in Connecticut, Senator Richard Blumenthal says the devices should be shut down if they can't be identified. And we've learned that House Speaker Mike Johnson did get a federal briefing on the sightings, as has Senate staffers in a few select offices. But other than that, there's been very little transparency. So what's going on? Is this some contagious mass hysteria? Or are people really seeing something that our government cannot identify? Our own Rich McHugh went out drone hunting in New Jersey. He did not come back empty-handed. Rich, tell us what you saw.
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I got to be honest here. When this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night.
And the truth is there's a mishmash of things going on. So there are pranksters out there for sure. Just because one thing doesn't mean another. That means it can't be both, right?
However, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
I didn't believe what I was seeing, but what was I seeing? We're here in Central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept a mysterious aircraft
All right,
New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks.
Here in a second.
The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones. Why do you think that is?
We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction.
And this kind of led into the whole narrative about the Iranian mothership, which we debunked because we had a guy called Sal from What is Going On with Shipping give us the lowdown and the satellite imagery of what they exactly are now. Now, nobody's repeating the mothership lie anymore or disinformation, but the guy from Jersey came out and swear to God that was the truth. And, I'm finding that there's a lot of people that are getting inside information that isn't jiving, like, and so I'm wondering what oops, did I screw that up? No, I'm wondering what what's going on with that. Like, are people being fed stories that are within the government to spread the stories outside of the government, get it into the news cycle?
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
New Jersey Senator Andy Kim.
It started the federal government. I'm still not sure. What I can show you.
Feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
How did this guy know how to wingspan of about 8 feet? Just because he's sitting there in a tie, looking all serious and knows what he's talking, act like he knows what he's talking about. How does he know this? I mean, nobody gets up there and measured it, right? And you can't. And we've gone over this scientifically speaking. It's at night. You're looking up. It's hard to judge distance at night. It's hard to judge it during the day when you're looking up. You don't have that depth of field you normally would have looking straight across. It's just you lose it as you start to look up. And so people judging distances, judging the size of things, there's a lot of trickery going on in the mind there. And so making definitive statements, it seemed to me like that is more like a way to say that. Well, it seemed to me like it was that big, but, I'm looking at it from the ground, so I can't be positive. But, at the time, that's how it impressed me. I mean, that's a more based way of kind of putting that out there, because otherwise you're like, it was definitely 8 feet. And people are reporting the RV size. It went from car size drones to RV size drones. That's another thing I've noticed that's happening as well. Drones are Reapers and shoot Hellfire missiles. Oh, wow. Dude, nobody has fixed wing drones. I also blame quadcopter enthusiasts, not clarifying that. No, exactly. I have been looking up drones myself. The Reaper drones, Predator drones, all these things like that, right? And they're very distinct looking. And so we have to say, are they drones, right? So AFIX is here. We're looking at sightings. Also, 1 million registered drones is BS unless DJI, which is becoming a household name now, is pre-registering them all. Who and why would anyone also pre-banned 2017 drones were better? You can also absolutely fly them at night. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's clearly not the beginning of Robocop. Yes. Remember the secret surveillance drones over Kenosha during the Kyle Rittenhouse event. The FBI didn't want to admit it, but had to. Well, yeah, I think they've been using drone tech for a while now. It's just like, I think they're going to normalize it into the local. I think there might be, into local, right? So that's what the legislation today they talked about was, and that's the pushback that Rand Paul gave as well. But, they want to, I think that, more normalized usages of it. And what does that mean? Like when they normalize, I think if they go ahead to do it, right, it becomes like all of a sudden there's a drone at your door, right? And Rand's going to make some great points when we get to this part of the show, when we get into the legislation and the pushback on it and what the establishment is pushing for. Rather than answers, they're saying, well, we need this stuff to give you answers, right? Rather than provide answers, they're going to say, oh, we need laws and power and to spend money in order to give you the answers. It's like you have to pass this bill to see what's in it. That kind of stuff like that. Your typical establishment stuff. Hey, what's up, Goony Tunes? How you doing, man? Build your own cheaper, especially with the ID bull spit. There you go, bull spit. They want their drones to dominate by force, regulating civilian use for our own good. Yep, there's part of that too. That's part of it too, as well. That's right. Okay, let's take a look at this guy right here. But yeah, he thinks that he's got it figured out. But the Limited reports of personal drones used to investigate mystery drones have battery drained rapidly. That died really quickly. That they had some kind of EMP type, you know, I don't know, force ability. What in the world did I put here? Something really small down there on the screen. Let's just get that out of there. All right. And that died down. That was like 2 people that said that or something, and then that went away. So that was just like I don't know, kind of weird. All right, so let's go back real quick just because I have it in order here. And remember this right here. Predictions of post-Trump Rogan debate on UFOs, UAP incident. So this guy, this went viral here for a minute. And I don't know if he's a genius or not. But this guy Cliff had this AI he made. I guess he's kind of a genius. He made this AI that would predict moves on Wall Street, and I guess they're gonna a web bot or some kind, and they were going to use it to work, get rich, right? And so it made a bunch of other predictions, and one of them was that Trump and Rogan would have an interview, and originally it was going to be at this one time, and then it actually happened, and then so 29 days or 39 days later, supposedly we're going to have this big incursion, this big event, and he gets a lot more into details with this. I'm just going to note this. I'm not going to play it because this guy goes on, and it's kind of a long video, but you can find this dude out here. Let me give you the name of it real quick. This is the Michael Lofton show, but the guy's name in it is Cliff, right? This is Cliff. And he sounds
from that time period, 39
to a melee. And at the time, and even in our conversations here recently, he wanted to say, and I'll title this way in honor of Igor here, but he wanted to say that it was 39 days to melee.
That voice it drives me crazy because I'm like, I know that voice from somewhere. The voice is like, I don't know what it is. Does he sound like Scott Adams?
Which is a catchy phrase. Okay, be a nice title for a book or something. But in my opinion, that's not quite accurate, right? Because we don't know what the distance is between the organized visible contention that then degrades into the melee.
Okay, so the melee is we're talking about. Anyways, that's the Cliff guy. And so this came out, right? About a month before all this stuff started, the sensationalism started happening around seeing drones and whatnot. So people were actually talking about this before the report, somewhat talking about this before the reports, the mass reporting of drones came out, right? Suddenly. So I just noted that. It's a note. That's all it is. Doesn't mean anything, but it's just there, right? And then I found this Rogan interview, which we reviewed the other night. Well, where did it go? I thought I had it on here. It didn't matter. I probably meant to put it there. Joe Rogan, Joey Diaz interview. I had it up there. We watched it the other night on Unrig the Game pre-show, the kickoff show. And it was from 5 years ago, stating that northern New Jersey is known for UFO hysteria. It's known for mass reporting UFO sightings, and it's been going back for decades. So northern New Jersey has a reputation for being a place of that a lot of drones are being reported, right? So there we go there. Let's see, do we get through the initial stuff here? Oh yeah, so the initial reports here, as we scroll in here, we see that the DHS and FBI joint statement, no evidence. This is their opening statement here. No evidence, poses no threat. We keep hearing that over and over again. No foreign nexus. Close coordination with Jersey. Deploy personnel, technology to investigate. So on and so forth. We're supporting local law enforcement. Yes, the contrary, upon review of many available imagery, appears that many of the report sightings are actually manned aircraft operating lawfully. There are no reports to confirm drone sightings in any restricted airspace. We take seriously the threats that can be posed. This is coming out of this area, right? So it can be posed by unmanned aircraft, which is why law enforcement and other agencies continue to support it. Okay, this is the New Jersey stuff, right? So that's what they're talking about in terms of New Jersey. Let's see, FBI on drones. That's just coming off of this, right? So that this right here is saying this. That's where I got it from. Okay, and then we did debunk this, right? Then this guy came out here and New Jersey Senator Van Drew, which is probably on his last run as senator now, claims intelligence sources informed him of Iranian drone mothership off the East Coast, right? And we debunked that right here with what's going on with shipping. And this guy Sal, who's amazing, did a great
today's
job.
episode of What's Going
On Doc. There's the dock, and you see a lot of this picture out there a lot where they say, well, there's the ship, right? There's the ship, and now it's gone, so therefore it's in the United States, right? Well, the truth of the matter is that they know where these things go at all times. And see, black sky, that's the satellite technology they use to track ships, right? So they track these ships everywhere, and they know exactly where they're at all times. So no worries here, right? So there they are. They're right there, still over in Iran, safe and sound. So no worries. So debunked right there. And then we got drones over military bases. Now this one took on a little interesting turn because we've realized there's a pattern of this time of year, and there's been some arrests made. So we have this new arrest bucket down here, and I'm getting to your stuff, Avix. It's coming up right here, right? So here's two incidences where foreign nationals, foreign people have been caught and charged with flying drones over restricted airspaces, right? And that's just some of the ones I threw in here, but I noted the ones that were kind of like, maybe this is like foreign threats, foreign adversaries operating within our borders, no mothership off the coast. But this guy was arrested at an airport leaving for China. I played this report last night. Leaving for China after flying a drone over a Space Force base and taking pictures and whatnot. And he had those images on him as he was leaving for China. Speaking with a trusted source at Space Force, says it could have just been a space nerd, trying to get memorabilia and just happened to be heading home. You can keep an open mind about this stuff. Reports out of that seem to think that it's just a lot of hysteria. So official sources, in the armed services seem to think it's a lot of hysteria. So they're not put on alert, which is something that we note, something that we're noting here, that the military is not on alert, right? As we look at these facts, these drone facts and observations, there's been no real flight restrictions. The drones are running anti-collision lights, which makes them lawful. They're out in the open, obviously, so not trying to hide. There's no state of emergency being declared. And like I said, the military is on alert. I probably could add that to the board here. Let me see. Just to note it. Let's see. Military not on alert. All right. No indications at that. And you'd think that if there were some of the things, oops, let me spell that right. Okay, let me just spell it right. Military. Not on alert. You think that there was a missing nuke or something like that, they might be on alert. It might be on alert. But let me look at the crowd here real quick. Again, like I said, when I'm looking over here, I'm not quite looking at what you guys are seeing. So keep me informed in the headset here if I need to keep a closer eye on this. I'm getting to your footage here coming up, Afix. I'm gonna make you stick around. The truth is going out of war sale, everything 50% off for them. You must give up more money and power if Yuki war ends. All the drones, that's a good point about bringing up the drones being used in war, right? If they have all this marvelous technology and all this crazy stuff that's being used, why aren't they using it over where it counts, right? And Russia's making no secret about rolling out new technology. They've done it during this war. Like, why would they be hiding anything else? Why would anybody else be hiding anything else? If the game is on, pull out your best weapons and let's go. You can build a cheaper, especially. Okay, I got that part. All right. Let me scroll down here. Okay, just sent exactly what you expect to hear on Disco. Disco. All right, I like Disco. Let's see. Laugh out loud, mothership. There are probably 5 satellites focused on. Yeah, exactly. Wolfram. Yeah, Black Sky. Black Sky is watching you. Are you covered the Aston Forbes Malaysia flight guy? I don't like him, but he brought up a lot of interesting surveillance information. I have not seen that yet. Have not seen that. surveillance information as it pertains to what the drones or just like what they're doing, or I've got a questions bucket here. I'm sure we can add more to this as we go. Again, we're just doing the board introduction, then we're gonna get into the video stuff, and we're gonna get into we're gonna go down the rabbit holes, the spurs, the different possibilities. But can a lot of talk about drones over water? Can drones actually launch from underwater? Have we ever seen that? Is there a schematic on the planet that talks about drones launching from underwater? You think that we would know more about this question? So I threw this on the board just because that's to kind of knock out the whole idea that they're coming from out, off the coast, right? Oh, we saw 50 of them come up off the coast. You saw 50 somethings, maybe you saw 50, I don't know, but that whole story, there's so much hearsay. We saw it, but we didn't pull our phones out and capture it. We didn't take a boat out there and call the Coast Guard and try to figure out where they're coming from. No, we didn't do any of that, but we saw it. And where are they launching and returning to? They don't have that long. Like if we go into drone facts over here, we'll realize that, drones have limited ranges, right? There's only so long that they can fly for, right? They run on a couple different types of power types. There's battery and fuel. Size and range equals cost. So the longer range you have, right? The longer range you have and the bigger they are, the more money it costs to have them. So who can afford the big ones, right? I think Afex was making that point earlier. And yeah, so who could afford the big ones, right? So if you see a big one, that means someone's got some moolah, right? And they're investing moolah in flying it around your local neighborhood. What for and why? So that leads you to believe it's either the government or some intelligence agency or somebody with some money, right? And it also takes a lot off the board in terms of who it could be if they're really that big and they really go for that long. So that's the kind of the root cause analysis kind of questioning, and as we do that, we can kind of start throwing possibilities off the board. Let's see, I got that one. Drones are wholly unnecessary for images. Satellites cover that just fine. Yep, exactly. It was a while back. More like satellites and the systems that integrate a lot of sensors. Yeah. Yep. Plenty of that going on. We got more satellites than ever in the sky. Flight. You can either have an active signal, remote controlled, or onboard AI controlled with a pre-programmed route. Those are pretty much your options with drones, how they're going to fly. So they say, well, we can't get a signal off of them. Well, then you're probably pointing to something like an onboard AI control or a pre-programmed route, which are probably one and the same, right? They're probably one and the same. Probably should combine those. But let's just say they're not. Let's say the AI is on a pre-programmed route, but also has the ability to navigate around obstacles or react to situations through a programmed workflow. Like say, if light shines on, then turn lights off, right? Some people say they go dark. Okay, well, maybe not. Maybe they seem to go dark, but I don't know. Again, a lot of hearsay when it comes to this stuff. Drone business most likely is operating in daytime. Yeah. So I looked up some drone businesses that do topographical mapping. They provide a great service because you can map areas that are hard to reach. And if you did it the old fashioned way, it would take months and months and months and be very expensive. Drone operators can now run a pattern with software and do an entire area in a day, and then take it back and map it through mapping software and give the customer a full topographical map of their territory, their property, within a matter of weeks. So it's pretty good. We get down to the buckets here. What's likely? Well, likely that, and I say U.S., that's me people that are in the U.S. And likely bucket is that the drones are from here and are based here, right? They're owned and operated out of the United States. That's in the likely bucket. The maybe bucket, foreign adversaries, are there's some spying activities that are going on, over the holiday seasons. Maybe we don't got some evidence of that. We don't have any definite proof, but there's some evidence maybe. And it's unlikely that these are a physical threat or they are armed with EMPs or anything like that at this point. It's unlikely that's going on, but we're just more stuff we can add to these buckets as we go. The analysis part of it's coming up. Again, we're just doing the intro right now, so stick around if you want to be part of the solution and start helping us fill in these buckets here as we work towards the most likely possibility. All right, so we got the certainty bucket, the uncertainty bucket. We may use those, we may not. If we're certain of something, we'll put it here just to put it in this bucket here. We'll eventually move it. It's just kind of a holding pattern kind of place. And then the definitely not bucket. It's definitely not a stealth invasion, right? And it's definitely not extraterrestrials. Like, I know that some people want it to be ETs, and I do too, but it's not. All right, and then the debunked bucket. Right now, we're looking at we've debunked the drone base of operation as an Iranian mothership. Yes, this statement that drones can't fly at night came off of some government official, and yes, you can fly drones at night. It's right here. Got the verbiage right there. Oh yeah, and multiple drone crashes. Have you guys heard this yet? This guy who looks like Monograph, like his cousin maybe. He says that he basically fact checked and debunked the drone crashes. Let's take a listen to him real quick. I haven't played this.
Things heating up here in New Jersey where I am, and the whole issue with the mysterious drone sightings that everyone keeps talking about. Late last night and earlier
It's Ron John Surf Shop shirt. And
this morning, there was a reported drone crash in Hillsborough, New Jersey. Authorities did an overnight search for a reported drone that was said to have crashed into a field off of what's Route 206 in Hillsborough, New Jersey.
Brad, what's up?
Search started on Thursday evening earlier this week and then resumed again this morning. And after several hours of searching, no drone was ever discovered, and the search was called off by 12:10 p.m. today. Now, I say that because something similar happened in what's it called, Pequannock Township, New Jersey. Reported drone crash Thursday night, again this week, that turned out to be just a toy drone or just a consumer grade drone, right? This is actually FPV, but a little different. There was also some reports in Parsippany, New Jersey of a drone falling out of the sky. The Parsippany Police Department cleared up the confusion on Facebook after receiving numerous calls and residents who thought they may have seen a drone fall to the ground. And that turned out to be a motor vehicle crash in South Beverwick Road. Again, none of this is too far from where I live. I'm in Somerset County, New Jersey. The accident.
You know this guy, Shelly? You know this guy?
Up here in New Jersey, that I'm putting any of my drones up in the skies in New Jersey right now. I'm either going to have the FBI knocking at my front door, or let's be honest, some Yahoo's going to end up shooting that thing right out of the sky. So no night flying for me, at least for a while. I'm not even sure I'm comfortable putting this thing up in the air during the day at this point. This won't be my last video on this. I hope to see you guys soon. Again, a lot of false reporting, hazmat teams, and also contact the nearest bomb squad.
Right, so there we go. That's pretty much it for that. Just want to debunk some crashes there, saying that there are drones. None of them turn out to be drones. How about that? All right. So scroll back out here. All right, let's go over to do some sighting stuff. And I want to get into these base takes as well. Where are we at? 44 minutes in. Okay. I'll tell you what. Let's take a look. Hey, Christine, how you doing? Good to see you. How have you been? How you been? Good to see you. I paused, like I'm waiting for an answer. I'm like, hey, all right. Actually, I need a drink of my C4. Tonight, we're sponsored by C4 energy drink. Not really at all, but unofficial sponsor. Grape Frost. I'm drinking Grape Frost. It's pretty good. All right. Yeah, you go. Check out Christine's YouTube channel and subscribe if you would like. All right, you Afix. Let's go into sightings. Like I said, I already debunked the orb grift. That was just people using telescopes to look at stars and planets, and then using a blur feature or just unfocusing it, and then trying to pass it off. Shame on you guys. Shame on you, you dirty grifters. And of course, you know, this is Revelations is not happening. These are not angels. This is not the Galactic Federation of Light. We've kind of been all through all the conspiracy grifts that people try to run out of the closet and get some clicks and views off of. Into the arrest bucket. If there's, you know, I'll be adding more stuff as it goes on, but I did want to start going down a couple different avenues. But first, before we do that, let's take a look at some sighting footage, and let's go and take a look at what our dear friend Afix has brought us. He came from out of the ether. He's been gone for years. I don't know how long he's been gone. He sent me some other stuff. I think I saw this one. But let me pull that up too. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, on X, you got an X. Hey, by the way, I'm reopening a new X channel since my old one got viciously deleted, are suspended for good, viciously, for false accusations that I was counterfeiting goods. I don't counterfeit goods. I don't have goods. I don't have any goods. They said I counterfeited goods and they won't talk to me and they won't give me a human response in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to keep this in my back pocket. And, you know, if you know me, I'll just wait to the right time to spring it out. But, but I have to move on with business. So I have another channel. Now it's just at Winning Reality. It's just, that's even easier than at You Winning Reality. It's just at Winning Reality. And I'll just use that one for now, I guess. Unfortunately I can't stream there without a premium account. So I have to cancel premium on the other one and put it on this one. It's just one thing after another. I think it's pretty much good to go. Yeah, I don't think, you know, there's much to it, but it's kind of weird and I don't like it. I have 5 followers and most of them are probably bots. But I had 1,800 followers and it took a lot of time and effort to get it there. And I'm kind of pissed that they just yanked it and then didn't give me any way to appeal it. It's just freaking weird, man. I can't appeal it. It won't let me. They suck ass. And that's the way it goes. So I have to like start following people back now. I have to follow people and follow people and follow people. And hopefully they'll follow me back. Lady on Broken Baker. I don't want that kook. Actually, I can go block him. Let's go meme. Jesus Christ. There's so many people I have to go back and follow. And be like, what? I thought I was already following you. But anyways, that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes sometimes. And I'm sure it'll be just fine. Maybe some people will help me out and they'll get it out there for me. I don't know. I have to go find back my old ones, be like, my channel got taken down. Please resubscribe to me. Whatever. Stupid. All right, so I won't worry about that for now, but that's the story on X. All right, so let's take a look at what Afix has sent us. This is actually pretty good footage. Actually, not bad, Afix. This is from Jersey. All right, and let me pull this up. We'll look at eyewitness accounts here. I gotta do the whole window. Or I gotta do the entire screen. Yeah. Share the audio. Yeah, same thing, right? Share. All right, ladies and gentlemen, from our very own Afix. Hopefully he's still here. He didn't forget that we were doing this and run off. He's known to do stuff like that. But yeah, here we go. Very wobbly flight. Very laggy. That's not his fault. It's mine. Come on. Seriously. The lights are there, like red and green. Now you're saying these are fixed wings, Afix? Are you still here? Hold on. Right when I decided to play it is when I'm going to start doing this. It works fine before. Now, is it because the lights are brighter and they blink more that people think they're drones? It gets better. This has been brought to us by Afix. Afix, why does this video suck? It's not your fault. All right, let's try this one. Come on. 30-second stop. 30-second stop. Oh, here we go. Now, why do you think this is a drone? I have to ask as we go here. Oh my God. Production down. Come on, dude. This was working fine a minute ago. Oh, here we go. Look, there's some more here. So you like that, don't you? All right. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. Let me try something else here. Oh, here we go. Is it gonna work now? No. All right. Let me try something different here. Really? You want me to save this? Why not? Why not? Just save it. Steve UFO. And then what I'll do is I'll just add it to my brand here. Here, watch this. Why I do that?
What is winning reality? This sounds like some self-help thing. Do you know what you are? Do you know what you are? You are brilliant. You are brilliant. You are better than you think. And you come out of the room going, yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. You are winning. You are reality. Reality. Come on. Take on the world. Take on the world. That's what winning reality. That's what winning reality conjures up in my mind.
Winning helped make everything better. All I do is win, no matter what.
Sounds like where's Afix? Where you at? There you go. See, I didn't even see you say that, and I knew that. It sure does. It sure does. All right, where did Afix go? He's gonna show me some stuff and then leave. He probably forgot he was even here. All right. Well, he had his moment. All right. So I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Let's see. Bring this board back up. All right. So we got through this part. We looked at some footage here, right? Last night I did a report on there's some other reports going on that drones over military bases, drone sightings shut down New York airport twice, evidently, and then military drones looking for nuclear warheads or dirty bomb material. This is a big narrative here, so we're gonna come back to that as we dig into some of these different spurs that we're gonna go down here, right? And this is the two right here, I think, that are major right now. Actually, three. I would say that the three major ones, the three major possibilities are probably really gonna have to take a close look at is this story about military drones or drones looking for lost nuclear warheads or materials. Does that make any sense? Last night I did a full breaking news on this, where I gave you the base take on this, right? And I gave you the story that led into it. And then there's a lot of other people that have been adding to this story as we go. One is this New Jersey mayor that came out right? Went on the news, right? And he said this.
The origin, as officials continue to investigate the origins of mysterious drones reportedly spotted in the skies over New Jersey. Belleville, New Jersey Mayor Michael Melham was on Fox 5 New York earlier on today. He suggested that they might be connected to missing radioactive material. And he said earlier this morning that information, quote, has not been forthcoming. That's doing nothing but fueling conspiracy theories. I want to put up this post here from the mayor out of New Jersey talking about this, saying they held a briefing to House Intelligence Committee. Yet yesterday, New Jersey mayors were told nothing to see here. Clearly, there's something. I hope the representative out of New Jersey immediately headed to the cameras after the briefing. New Jersey residents demand to know. So let's take you out to this segment earlier on today on Good Day New York with Belleville Mayor Michael Melham. Let's listen in to what he had to say.
Residential neighborhoods, restricted sites, even near President-elect Donald Trump's home, and critical infrastructure.
Belleville Mayor Michael Melham says the drone sightings are creating anxiety in his town, and he's looking for answers. And he joins us this morning right here on Good Day New York. Thank you for joining us, Mayor. You know, President-elect Trump says that
never trust the mayor.
The Biden administration knows what's going on. Our government knows what's going on. You're the mayor of of Bellevue. What do you know?
We know very little. About 6 days ago, there was an unprecedented briefing with every single mayor in the state of New Jersey, along with every member of our state legislature. We learned exactly at that time what the state knows, which was very little. Since then, information has not been forthcoming. And it's this lack of transparency, in my opinion, that's doing nothing but fueling conspiracy theories online.
Do you have any idea what it could be? Or which side it could be, where it's coming from?
Yeah, I can tell you what it's not. We know for a fact it's not little green men. And more than likely, it's not a foreign adversary, because they would be able to figure out how to turn off the blinking lights. These drones are huge. We had a mayor yesterday on the call with the White House telling them that he had 6-foot drones hovering over his house. Yet they continue to tell us, we don't know what we're talking about. It's misidentification. Certainly, there's some misidentification probably going on. But I could assure you that we are seeing drones in New Jersey all over the place.
All right, so Bethany Frankel, I know she's not like, the New York Times, but she says that she has like some kind of contact at the Pentagon, and that it has something to do with radioactive.
This lady is so Jersey, right?
Material in New Jersey. What are you hearing?
So here's what I know. I know that we were told by our state police that we have assets over our critical infrastructure. Now, depending on your point of view, that's either concerning or comforting. I think it's comforting because it's probably us listening and watching. We also know that we have drones that are flying in a grid-like pattern. In my opinion, they're looking for something. What might they be looking for? Well, potentially...
Again, the grid-like pattern. Where's the observable... Where is the observable on this? We need something observable to know that. What's the grid-like pattern? Someone map it out, for Christ's sake.
We're aware of a threat that came in through Port Newark. Maybe that's radioactive
material. You know what else flies in grid-like patterns? Airliners.
There was and there is an alert that's out right now that radioactive material in New Jersey has gone missing on December.
Okay, did you hear that? Did you guys hear that? That turned down too low? Did you hear what he said? Let's do this again.
Threat that came in through Port Newark. Maybe that's radioactive material. There was a
threat that came. Listen to how fast he talks.
We also know that we have drones that are flying in a grid-like pattern. In my opinion, they're looking for something. What might they be looking for? Well, potentially, we're aware of a threat that came in through Port Newark. Maybe that's
the threat that came in through Port Newark.
Radioactive material. There was and there is an alert that's out right now that radioactive material in New Jersey has gone missing on December.
On what?
December 2nd. It was a shipment.
December 2nd. December 2nd. It was what?
It arrived at its destination. The container was damaged and was empty. So potentially we're looking for that.
There.
Okay. So yeah, stop right there.
Mayor, because that's very important information. And that came from a credible source.
That came from the U.S. government.
And so it's missing?
Missing.
And they think...
All right, this just came out. What was the date on this? Hold on. Well, this is new. 2 hours ago, right? 2 hours.
It's in New Jersey, or it could be anywhere.
It was lost in New Jersey, in transit. And again, this is just an example of what I think that we're sniffing for. I think we do have the assets.
Just an example of what we think we're sniffing for? We're not doing anything specific here. This is the kind of shit that people are listening to and believing.
That can go up and fly around and sniff things, which is why we're not seeing the uptick we used to see in Belleville anymore. It's kind of moving, but we're seeing alerts that it's happening now in Pennsylvania.
And that's right.
Now alerts that it's in Pennsylvania. And you see it's moving. We're tracking it through Pennsylvania now. This guy makes no freaking sense, man.
About the time that the drone sightings began, right?
Yeah, drone sightings began about 4 weeks ago.
Okay, so when you take a look at this, if this information is indeed credible, why...
4 weeks ago. 1 month ago, it was November 18th. Remember, I told you that was an important date, right? Because that video I showed you earlier of the guy rehashing the predictions, that guy Cliff, he came out on November 17th, right? Just to let you know. I mean, October something, right? And then the rehashes of that came out around that about a month ago.
Wouldn't the government say, it's us?
That's the crazy part about this. We've gotten very little information. Even yesterday on that call with the White House, literally mayors were told, you guys are seeing things. There's no credibility to this. We have one mayor, like I said, had drones over his house. I mean, we're no longer going to stand for not hearing the truth. I mean, our state government.
It could have drones over his house, and it still could be nothing, right? It could be people, hobbyists with drones, trolls with drones, people flying their drones around hoping to find other drones. I mean, the more this gets talked about, the more that it snowballs, right? This is the mass hysteria spur that this thing's going on, right? Because the more that it gets talked about, the more it kind of ramps up. We'll go into some of the more base takes on that here in a little bit. We're still just ramping up here in our first hour, getting all the information out on the table for us to look at. And then we're going to start breaking it down and pulling things in and out and off and adding things and all that stuff. So we're just getting started here, guys. If you really are into doing root cause analysis, you really want to kind of put all the pieces together and figure this stuff out with this, you're in the right spot. Yeah, game of telephone. There you go, Wolfram. You're in the right spot. All right. This is one of those streams you can get really interactive with. This is an interesting topic to you, and you've been spending a lot of time listening to everybody talk about it, and you want to see it all laid out in front of you. And we're going to get down to the brass tacks of things. And plus, I also get a lot of sources other people don't get. Like, I don't know how I do it, but there's a lot of, like, I get a lot of expertise that people just kind of skip over on other channels for some reason, or they don't get the full story. I'm very much about getting to the truth rather than being right. I don't care what the answer is, as long as it's the truthful answer. I'm good with anything. I don't have a dog in the fight other than the truth. So that's what makes this channel unique. And this is the also that I've been doing root cause analysis type work for decades now. And it's one of my specialties, and my brain's wired for it. So that all together is, you're in the right spot to have reality unveiled to you. And we will figure out, we'll get as close as we can with this. Of course, we can't be 100% until the thing's sitting in front of us, but that's how you do it, right? You get as close as you can, and then you can just block out the noise the rest of the way.
Government is failing us. They're not getting the answers from the federal government. And even though yesterday they told us that there's nothing to see here, today there's a top secret briefing going on in Congress. Well, what are they being told that we weren't told yesterday?
Real quick, did you know yesterday when you were on that call about this missing radioactive activity or merchandise, or did you know that this morning after the call?
I was made aware of it yesterday morning. I did raise my hand. We weren't allowed to speak. I did raise my hand.
You are the mayor in a New Jersey town. The report went out on December 2nd. About this missing radioactive material, evidently, and you just found out about it, and now you're on TV talking about it like it's still happening. You're an idiot.
And was not called on to get that question answered.
So apparently it is concerning. Even the president-elect, who I'm sure gets some kind of
why would you raise your hand at a national briefing to ask about the
briefings on things? He says he's not going to his home in Bedminster, right?
Yeah, he said I probably won't be going there. Probably be taking. It's like he wasn't like, oh, I'm not going fucking near that place, dude. Can you imagine if Trump said that? I'm not going near it. I'm scared. He's just like, yeah, I probably won't do that. It'd probably just be a pain in the ass. That's probably what he's thinking. It's probably like a big pain in the ass. I don't want people spying on me. I'm out there in my swim trunks or whatever. Hey, Alpus, how you doing? Actually, it's too cold for swim trunks, but he doesn't want people giving him a hard time. He's like, yeah, people flying drones around trying to get images. I don't want to tax my Secret Service, and have them distracted by a bunch of bullshit when there's, people are trying to shoot at me.
I listened to him yesterday. He no doubt gets the same exact briefings that President Biden gets. He says our government knows. He says our president knows. And he also ended with saying, I'm not going to be in New Jersey this weekend.
Yeah, they could also know that it's nothing, and they need to say that too. Or they could also know that, he's probably going on I think that people take that out of context too. I think there's probably going on the fact that they have the ability to do things, and why they're not doing it, they need to explain, right?
So what do you want to know? What do you want the government to tell you and the general public?
I want them to be clear with us. I want transparency. I want them to say these are our assets. There's no need to concern about what's flying. The question should no longer be,
there are assets, but what if they're not our assets? Are you going to believe them? This is the thing about people in government that I don't get, right? They don't trust the government, but they want the government to tell them what to think. All right? That's why I go out and figure out on my own. I mean, that's what we go out and figure out, right? So not long after Joey Numbnuts here goes on TV and makes an ass out of himself, right? And scares a bunch of people up in New Jersey. God knows that they don't need that shit. This report comes out. Fact check: drones were not tracking missing radioactive material in New Jersey. So I have to pull the board down in order to go over to the site because it didn't link over for some reason. When I put the link in there, I got this nice little bulletin, but I didn't get a clickable link. I don't know why. But let's go ahead and read this right now. Come on, baby. Okay. Let me just go ahead and pull this up. This is really good, by the way. All right, here we go.
It has come by from the same spot. There it is.
Multiple videos have been circulating online in connection with alleged sightings of mysterious drones over New Jersey and elsewhere in the United States. As authorities search for answers, ABC News has reviewed several videos of these supposed sightings and found that many of them seem to capture piloted aircraft, not drones. A resident of Woodbridge, New Jersey, caught on camera what he believed was a drone in the area at around 8 p.m. on the night of December 6th.
Yeah, look.
Oh my God, it's an airliner. I mean, a drone.
To understand what we are seeing in this video, our visual verification team pulled data
Oh my
from
God,
a
look
public
at that drone. It looks just like an airliner. Those clever bastards.
available flight tracker and found that a British Airways flight was descending below 3,000 feet at the same time this video was taken. The Boeing 777 was preparing to land at Newark International Airport. In this video shared with ABC News by a viewer who captured an aircraft flying directly over Menham Township, we hear eyewitnesses reacting as if they're seeing a drone.
That looks like a spaceship. It's like a small plane. It really is like a small plane.
But by matching the date, time, and location to flight records, we can see this appears to be the United Airlines Flight 1449, a Boeing 787-9. The shape of the object we see in this video is consistent with that model of airplane. Despite a lack of hard evidence about these alleged drones, the sightings have spread beyond New Jersey. These videos were filmed on December 13th in Centralville, Virginia. The eyewitness who captured this bright object flying across the sky initially thought it was a drone. At 11:31 p.m. local time, when the witness began filming, a United Airlines flight, a Boeing 737, was crossing nearby as it approached Washington Reagan National Airport, according to data from Flight Radar 24. This video, which has been played over 2.2 million times on TikTok, does not show a drone, as suggested by the uploader. Instead, it shows a New Jersey State Police helicopter flying at low altitude, according to flight
You can
records.
see it's a helicopter.
We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus.
You know, and when he says it like that, I can see people taking this. You can take that a couple of different ways, right? The reported drone sightings or the reported drone sightings, right? You can say it a couple of different ways. Yeah, people are reporting them as drones, but the reports these are non-threatening events, right? And then some people were like, well, they just said it was a drone, right? So why are the drones not a threat? How do you know the drones aren't a threat? It's a drone reported drone sighting, right? So I could think some people could take that the wrong way. And what does he really mean by it? I think what he means by it is that people are reporting things that they think are drones, and we're telling you that what these reports aren't threatening. So maybe he needs to be more clear about his language and say, well, first of all, these aren't drones. We've tracked these things. It's a helicopter. It's an airliner. We've done our research, and that's not the people are thinking they're seeing something that's not there. And obviously, because they're not threatening, these aren't threatening. Obviously, it's an airliner and a helicopter. We know that they're there. We know that they're not a threat. So then they need to be a little bit more understanding and stop being so goddamn stick up the ass official about things.
Now, the cause of every single reported sighting of a drone hasn't yet been explained. But East
Hey,
Coast
Ronnie.
residents and lawmakers are still demanding answers about the sightings, while the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security have deployed infrared cameras and drone detection technology to ensure that drones flying over the New Jersey and New York area aren't harmful, according to a law enforcement source.
You can hear that's a helicopter. All right, so that's the video. So let's go into the reading. All right, so
It's not a bird. It's not a plane.
Okay. Fact check. Drones were not tracking missing radioactive material in New Jersey, like the guy just said, right? A theory that missing radioactive material in New Jersey could be linked to the string of mysterious drone sightings in the state have been disproven, according to the Department of Energy and related officials. The link between the alleged drone sightings and radioactive materials stemmed from the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission issuing an alert on December 5th that stated a piece of medical equipment used for cancer scans had been lost in transit 3 days prior. So good old Mayor dumbass was going to raise his hand at an official meeting and ask a question about missing medical equipment for cancer scans, right? The mayor of Bellevue, New Jersey, Michael the dumbass Melham, further stoked these theories during an appearance on Fox TV's Good Day New York on Tuesday, saying the drone sightings, what might they be looking for? Maybe that's radioactive material, right? It was a shipment. It arrived at its destination. The containers was damaged and it was empty, Melham said. The shipping containers in question departed from NASA Cancer Center in Newfield, New Jersey, and contained an Eckhart and Ziegler model HEGL 0-0132 device that arrived at its destination damaged and empty, according to the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission's original notice. The device contained trace amounts of the radioactive isotope germanium-68, which is used as a radiation source for one of the cancer center's CAT scan machines. James Dalzell, MD, at the NASA Cancer Center, told ABC News on Tuesday that the missing material had been found and has been disposed of properly. Dalzell said the equipment was shipped via FedEx, was temporarily misplaced the item. It was later found and delivered to the manufacturer. And there it is. Look at that. Oh, look, it's a CAT scan machine. Dalzell explained that the material was depleted ahead of its transport to the disposal factory. While there are still trace amounts of radiation, it was so low that they only needed to wrap in a few layers of styrofoam to render it safe for transport. Good thing there's drones up there sniffing for it. In a statement to ABC News on Tuesday, the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection said the device was very low-level radiation source and that is approved for shipping through common carriers like FedEx and has been located, repackaged, and sent to the manufacturer from the FedEx shipping facility where it was misplaced. Additionally, the NJDEP said drones were not used to locate radioactive material in question, further disproving the now viral theory. A spokesperson at the National Nuclear Security Administration, an agency with the Federal Energy Department that works on the nuclear stockpile, told ABC the administration's nuclear emergency support team does not use drones for nuclear detection missions. The Department of Energy and National Nuclear Security Administration's Nuclear Emergency Support Team, NEST, does not employ drones for nuclear radiological detection missions. It's not currently conducting any aerial operations in that region, the spokesperson said. Debunked. All right. Back to the rest of the program here. Yeah, so the whole thing with this mission, right? This whole mission about trying to get people to believe these drones are sniffing for radioactive material. We showed you a very base take last night. I played the whole thing, so I won't play it again, but just to kind of refresh you on it. It was right down here in our base take section. This guy right here, Ryan Macbeth, went through and explained that there's no way.
Our drones flying over New Jersey looking for a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, he says, like, I can't believe I'm doing a stream on this.
Well, let's say Ryan Macbeth occasionally works as a contractor to help find bad.
So this Macbeth,
movie
this
bugs
other guy right here,
inside.
this guy, this where's
And
this guy right
not
here is the
bounced.
one who started this whole thing about there's nuke sniffing, missing. My friend put his hands on the warhead. He put his hands on it. He put his hands on it. Hands. And so he went through and debunked this whole historical inaccuracies in the statement. You can look up Ryan Macbeth, Are Drones Looking for Nuclear Weapons, this video, or watch my video from last night, breaking news video called Breaking News. What did I call it? I called it Breaking News, Military Drones, Nuclear Detection Claims, Separating Fact from Fiction. If you want to watch that, I'll give you the full breakdown in that video. I'm sure someone could throw a link out there, but most of you are already here. So he goes through and he explains how this is the most key thing, right?
On how nuclear weapons work. There's something called the inverse square law. Double your distance from the source and the radiation goes down by a factor of 4. Here's how I explained it in my video about nuclear weapons.
Now I want to discuss distance and radiation. Now this kettlebell represents some kind of radioactive source. If I stand over here, I'm only getting hit with a few of the gamma rays from the decaying source. But if I get closer to the source, I get hit by more. This is called the inverse square law. Double your distance from the source and the radiation goes down by a factor of 4.
Now, nuclear material is constantly decaying, so it is naturally emitting radiation. The natural decay of isotopes like
right. So he goes on with that. And he also talks about how nuclear devices, nuclear weapons are shielded, how you have to have a certain amount for an explosion, and so on and so forth. So a very informed video where we take the base take on this thing. And this right here, this entire thing, it has to be debunked. I mean, don't you guys think, oh shit. I mean, don't you guys think that this has to be debunked? I mean, is it debunked? Hey, Scott, what's up? How you doing? Is there anybody out there that can add some more context to this that maybe thinks that there's some possibility to this? Now, I did do a little bit more research as well. And where did I put my damn research? Where is it at? Oh, yeah, I put it over on the hub. That's right. Okay, hold on. Let me grab it from the hub. Oh, look at that. Shnofu. Accept. What's Shofu? Shofu, what's up, dude? Whoever you are, you just friended me on on Discord. So I respond to your friendship. Let's be friends. And if you wanted to get in on the conversation or talk to me, feel free to do so. You got stuff to send me, you can send me stuff over there. Is that who's Snowfu? If you're in the crowd, say hello. All right. Okay, I got that. Where's my hub stuff? Right. Oh, hold on. Did I not put it over there? Oh, here it is. Okay, so I went out and did research on can drones sniff for nuclear weapons? And then it turns out there is some stuff out there they are trying to use, right? And so I'll give you a little bit of a preview of this. It's very cryptic, man. And I just want to show you guys the links that I go to, right? In case you're wondering, there ain't no bullshitting around here. Sometimes it really sucks, right? Sometimes you got to look at shit like this. And this is, interesting to some, boring to others. Use of drone-based gamma ray spectrometry systems to access point or extended radioactive sources. In recent times, utilization of unmanned aerial vehicles has emerged as a novel tool for a wide range of tasks, including radiological protection and hazardous situations. These articles present. Okay, so it goes on and tells you about that these are usually used with rotary wing drone-based systems, not, so it's not going to be used in one of these fixed wing situations. But yes, there are some very expensive fixed wing drones that can also move their wings and hover in place, right? So we know that. This right here, for those that are interested, I'm going to copy the link, right? I'm going to let you go look at it yourself because it's very long and it's very detailed. It's very nerdy, all right? But it goes into details about how these things are being used, material, methodologies, so on. So this is probably your only, they talk about sniffing technology. This is about as good as it's going to get right here, right? And we'll talk more about that, but you see they got some complicated math going on here. right? Lots of fun stuff. Yeah. So I was working out the math problems myself. They all check out. And this is like stuff Grimsbar would like if he was around. Do you like math? I like math, weird math with letters and numbers and stuff. But yeah, that's all out there, right? That's all out there. So here's a link to that if you want it. Enjoy. Have a good time with that. It's already debunked. Yeah. Do you say it's debunked? You guys say it's debunked? Thank you so much. I think it's debunked. I do. I mean, what else can it be, right? I mean, but still, I have other people that are still swearing by this source, and I give them credit. They have inside sources at the departments of importance, right? Around and government officials, they have sources for long-term sources, relationships with people, and they say that this is what's going on. Maybe I'm missing something. So I tell you what, I think it's debunked, but at this point, just with some lingering questions in mind, I'm going to put this in the unlikely bucket. All right. So I'm going to leave it right there for now. And as time goes on, I'm sure it will find its way down to being debunked. Now, why? Why would so many people in so many different areas be trying to push this narrative? And that's the next part I kind of want to get into. But I do want to go over some of these base takes as well. As maybe I'll say this more towards the end, but right now let's take a short break. And thanks, Shelly, for the super chat. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Shelly. $5. Can the drones bring me a ham and matzo sandwich from Banacamanos? Thanks. You know what? Make that two. Mutz. Good Lord. It's mutz, damn it. Mutz. Yeah, mutz. It's mutz. Oh. Some people in the South call it mutz. All right. Yep. MSM News is just trying to milk this nothing cow for as much as viewers can get. Scott, do you think that maybe it has to do with like passing legislation, giving government more power, and spending money? Because I think I'm leaning towards that. And I have this thing where we say we have to go all the way. Look, I have to scroll all the way out and go all the way over to our Veils of Perception board to find this beautiful statement that I came up with a long time ago. And it's right here. The establishment never lets a crisis go to waste. Neither do conspiracy grifters. However, they both produce mind control victims equally. All right. And I think that we have a combination of these things going on once again. And that's why I have that there, just to remind people that when things happen, to walk it in, to take it slow, and to suspect everything, question to the void. That's what we're doing right now. We're questioning things to the void. I do want to pull up the playlist here in a minute, and I want to manufacture a crisis so government can fix the crisis. Yeah, Hegelian dialectic. I think I had that over there too somewhere. Did I? Oh, dang it. There it is. I should have it somewhere. Do I have the pose as a savior thing? Oh, man, I need to add that. I thought I had Hegelian dialectic on here. I have to have it on here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Right there. Hegelian dialectic. Yes. There we have it. So, yeah. Let's get it back into the board. Yeah. And again, do they manufacture the crisis? Are they manufacturing consent through an mass hysteria? That's the question we need to ask now, Wolfram. That's the one we need to go to now. Is it them creating the crisis, or is it them manufacturing consent on the backs of mass hysteria? And what a potent weapon to have, huh? What a potent weapon to have. All you gotta do is get some people yapping. Maybe official sources go out and tell people in the media to say things, or that's exactly what it is. New Jersey governor, New Jersey senator comes out and says, Iran is motherships off the coast of doesn't know shit about it, but I got my officials down at the departments that told me so, right? And he goes on and he says this. Mayor Numbnuts comes out and goes, oh, it's missing material, right? They're root sniffing, and then everybody, he's on the media. They don't have people like me on the media going, you know what, this is all bullshit. Let's debunk this shit. Well, in some cases they do, but not very often. They don't make the local news. They don't make the mainstream media news, right? Because the mainstream media news is, since we forget they're sensational. We forget they have to try to get people in to try to make money to get their sponsors to, no one's gonna buy the damn pharmaceuticals if they don't see the commercials, right? At least the doctors. And they'll try to discredit YouTube people as much as they can get. Distractions only serve those who control, influence, and information. Yeah, what better way to discredit YouTube people than have a bunch of weirdos like this put shit like this out there, right? Or so you got the conspiracy grifters trying to grift off every little thing. It's the aliens, it's this, it's that, it's this and that. They're coming out of the woodworks, and I'm gonna show you a bunch of the videos. I know I keep telling you that, but it's gonna happen. Yeah, then you have a bunch of official sources coming out and throwing a bunch of crap against the wall like this, right? They're reporting a potential drone crash, but they're not really drone crashes, right? They don't wait to say, well, we had some stuff going on. People report it as a drone crash, but they're really not. This is your local, trusted local news here talking, and we will always tell you the truth. I promise you, it wasn't a drone crash. People, here's what really happened, right? Government officials, well, if they don't know that they can't fly drones at night, well, if you don't know that you can, you're not really doing your homework, are you? So they get a bunch of bullshit out there, and so we have to filter through the noise to get to the end, to the real answers here. All right, so let me where are we gonna go next here? Let's go with, I want to circle back to the government legislation stuff and the base takes. Because I want to, let me just do this. I've been saying it for an hour now, an hour and a half. Let me just pull up the playlist, the official playlist for Dronepocalypse 2024. It's an official playlist with your greatest hits all lined up. Such a great night. All right. So, all right. So we're going to run down this list here a little bit. I'm going to jump from video to video, so I probably won't even hide the playlist like I normally do. Hey, Heidi, you're listening. It's a perfect show to listen to while you're walking the dogs, I'll tell you that. Time for Yuri clip? Yeah, it is actually. It is actually. It is a good time. Let's talk about how Yuri told us, and his great wisdom and knowledge told us exactly what the establishment likes to do.
So that's exactly the martial art tactic. We don't stop an enemy. We let him go. We help him to go in the direction we want them to go.
That's right. And what better way, right, than to leak information from official sources and use the judo. It's the martial arts tactic, the judo, right? Use the judo technique. Now, we talk about there's going to be a hodgepodge of stuff because nothing's organized in this list. This is the guy right here. Joe asked ex-Navy pilot. His name is Ryan Graves. Ryan Graves is the one who points out that that the military drones happen. The drones over military bases happen every holiday season. Right, every holiday season. This guy actually points out some really good stuff about continuity of government. Like continuity of government. I hadn't thought about this one. This was a good one. This is like the return of these guys right here, like the return of the fucking who are those guys? Every time I go to say their name, I want to say Smothers Brothers. I know it's not right. It's the Canadian guys that from the movie oh man, I blanked on it. God bless America. Strange Brew, McKinsey Brothers. There we go. Let's see how the brain works. The brain's a fascinating thing, isn't it? These are the McKinsey Brothers. They're from Canada, right? These dudes come down to the U.S. and get their car searched at a military base looking for UFOs. You can't make this shit up.
Warm. Unlike yesterday,
We were freezing our butts off. Now, in yesterday's video, if you guys remember, when we were on the beach, we spotted some type of fire that we thought could have been like a crashed drone or something. Some of you guys in the comments were like, how come you didn't go to it? Well, guys, it was freezing cold. We were underdressed.
You're from Canada.
Uh-oh, someone's coming. Oh, shit. Bro, we're in trouble. Oh, shit.
That's what really happened. Bro, I was going to play a prank on you and go ahead of you. And say, hey, cops are here.
The cops are here. Shit. All right, they're coming for us. Oh, they're going straight to my car. this. Yeah, we done messed up. Uh-oh. All right, well, they're searching my car right now. Hello.
Can I help you?
Yeah, sorry, we were just taking a photo of the side.
This is a military base. You can't be here, okay?
It's a military base. You can't be here.
You gotta have like express position.
Okay, I thought I'm from Canada. I thought it was only like going.
No. It starts where the ramp comes up, so you have to leave.
I apologize. We're gonna leave right now.
You have a safe night.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And the cops are cool about it. Idiot 1 and Idiot 2 looking for freaking UFOs that don't exist. UAP drones confronted by the military. Ooh, they were confronted by the military. That was it. So adding to the noise, 300,000 views, 2.8 million subscribers. What the hell am I doing wrong? What the hell am I doing wrong, people? What the hell am I doing wrong? These guys are complete idiots. They're abusing people. They're clickbaiting them. They got 2,000 comments, 17,000 thumbs up. People actually are thumbing up this video. And yeah, there you go. So I guess that I'm just doing something wrong. Oh boy. That when you see videos like this, it makes you just want to be like, I'm done. All right. Let's see. Okay, those were some sightings and security concerns, growing debate. Oh yeah. Okay, so Georgia. I gotta get in on it. We gotta get in on it too. Like, we can't do it. Let me go back to the crowd real quick here. Wolf from Base Facts. Drones fly over New Jersey for weeks. Some drones, right? Some kind of drones. Government says and does nothing. Rumors fly. Government tries to pass a bill for robin drones and regulating drones. Yes, the robin drones. They're cute, right? It's just a robin. You know, robins lay eggs in other birds' nests, and their wicked offspring hatch first and then kick the other chicks out of the nest and then steal the food there. So the other mother of the birds, right, the smaller bird, feeds the robin, right, and raises the robin thinking it's her own chick. Like, wow, you're a big one, right? What happened to the other ones? I guess they fell out of the nest. Guess you're the only one. You know, less work for me. Robins are awful birds. They're awful birds. They're not good. They're not good birds. Not good birds.
Now, some people right here in Metro Atlanta are looking for answers about what they're seeing.
Because we got to get in on it.
Hey, we want to welcome you back here at 4:30.
Don't not go leave us out of it.
Mounting right now after weeks of drone sightings across several states. We've gotten emails right here to the newsroom here in Atlanta.
And it's making a lot of headlines all across the country. Yeah. Now we're hearing from 11 Alive viewers who are saying that they are spotting drones above their neighborhoods. Yeah. And they have questions about why the drones are there and who's actually flying them. 11 Alive Joe Hinkie joins us live from Midtown. And Joe, are police or law enforcement agencies here getting a lot of reports about these drones?
Well, Ron, unlike up in New Jersey and the greater Northeast, here in the Atlanta area, that answer appears to be no. We've reached out to the GBI, FBI's Atlanta office, and several police departments across the metro, and none of them tell us that they have any active reports that they're investigating of mysterious drones here in our area. Yet, as you mentioned, 11 Alive viewers, we have plenty of them sending in their own videos of what they say are drones flying over their neighborhoods.
100,000 people in here right now.
Yeah, that's 100% a drone.
This video is from Britton Lockhart, filmed outside his Smyrna area home.
Okay, here we go. Britton from Smyrna. That's 100% a drone. It sure is.
And then there's another one right there.
Oh my
It is one of several he recorded late Friday into early Saturday morning.
The weirdest. Do you understand how close Smyrna is to Hartsfield Airport? Like it's like, okay, Atlanta is a big circle, right? Hartsfield Airport is at the bottom of the circle, at the south position. That's Hartsfield. Smyrna is at the west position. So if you just had the cross going straight through a circle, right? That's Atlanta. South on the right where the cross hits the circle, right? Right where the line hits the circle, that's Hartsfield. Now, if you follow that circle up, a quarter circle up to the west, right about maybe even a little in between where the next line would cross the circle going west is Smyrna. Okay, just to let you know how close to the Hartsfield airport this Yahoo is.
Weirdest thing to me, how I knew they weren't planes, they weren't flying up super high in the sky.
Again, how close they are to Hartsfield Airport, right? They're coming in and they're going out. Thanks for stopping by, Scott, man. Come on back if you get bored or you got some time. We love it when you hang out, man. Take care, brother.
They were very low and they were emitting light into the sky. It was
they were stop.
Strange.
Lockhart says he spotted a handful of drones.
That's another one right next to it.
And several 11 Alive viewers sent our newsroom their own video saying they spotted something similar at night in their part of the metro this past weekend, but some sound and look more like planes. If you were spotting drones in your area at night, Homeland Security Director Alejandro Mayorkas is offering one possible explanation: an FAA policy adopted last year allowing drones to fly at night.
That may be one of the reasons why.
This is local Atlanta news right here, right? So they talk about the mass hysteria, and then they pull you into this.
Now people are seeing more drones than they did before. I want to assure the American public that we are on it.
Over the weekend in the northeast part of the U.S., the FBI, DHS, and FAA officials said a large percentage of drone sightings there are actually commercial, private, and government air traffic confused for drones. But homeowners and lawmakers are not as sure. U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer of New York.
Lawmakers aren't as sure. They're not as sure. Now, if they had told them what they wanted to hear, they'd be like, yeah, we're way behind them. We're way behind them. But since they didn't, they're not as sure.
Is supporting legislation that would help local law enforcement detect and
that they want answers from the same people. Why won't you give us the answers? Why won't you tell us what's going on? And then they do, and they're like, we don't believe you. We don't believe you. You're not saying what we want you to say. Because you got that game going on.
Firm drones.
Right now,
people are doing it too. I mean,
state and local law enforcement.
Old sweater Chuck, man. He's got a sweater on now. You see, he's a nice guy now.
Does not have the ability or the legal authority.
He freaking changes his shoes and his sweater every time he walks in the room, and they play a little happy music. That's his new grift right here.
Detect drones. It's only the federal agencies. But because there are so many of these drones in so many places, our local authorities want and need the help. This legislation
and we want to spend the money.
Get them the
going
help.
on, and they're going super fast.
And Lockhart wants to know what he saw flying above his neighborhood.
That's the mystery behind all of this. And I think people deserve an answer as to what these drones are, because it affects everybody in their daily lives.
And up in the Northeast, where there have been all of those drone sightings actually reported to law enforcement, the Department of Homeland Security and
this guy, did he bring his own drone, or can I get a drone prop or something to hold in my hand here?
FBI, they released a joint statement, and they said so far, based on their investigations, there does not seem to be any public safety threat or foreign connections to the drones that have been flying in those
Let's just keep repeating that.
areas. Reporting live in Midtown Atlanta tonight, I'm Joe Henke, 11 Alive News.
All right, Joe, thanks a lot.
They sure did. They sure did. I did that a while ago.
You can see why those neighbors are really concerned. We appreciate
you can see why they're so concerned. Yeah. Full of shit, right? Full of shit. And like I said, there have been some arrests. I'm not going to play it, but Robert went through the arrest of these Iranians. As far as foreign adversaries are taking advantage of the holiday seasons, right? We've seen a Chinese man arrested near a Space Force base, and we've seen Iranians.
There was an investigation happening in Massachusetts where we've seen drones flying around. It says they were in connection with the deadly drone strike that actually.
So this investigation, 2 Iranians in connection with deadly drone strikes were caught flying drones near a military base.
actually killed some people over in Jordan. So this dude got arrested. A dual U.S. Iranian national of Natick, Mass. Arrested along with this guy, 38. Mohammed and Mohammed. Mahdi Mohammed and Mohammed got arrested. And the FBI has received more than 5,000 reported drone sightings in the last few weeks, with approximately 100 leads generated, which means you're all just crazy. Arrest.
Yeah, I don't know that he's actually got it figured out yet or not, but the arrest thing did happen.
Made related to drones. You can see Boston reporting that there was an investigation happening in Massachusetts where we've seen drones flying around. In Natick, it's linked to arrest of 2 Iranians, and we actually have the criminal complaint, which was filed under seal, a highly sensitive document from the District of Massachusetts. The U.S. government, the DOJ, arresting and criminally charging Mahdi Mohammed Sadeghi and Mohammed Abedini. And it's related to drones. Now, they were arrested in Massachusetts, but the drones that they had an issue with were overseas.
Okay, so they were arrested for flying drones overseas. Okay, so whatever. So that's what that is. But yeah, foreign nationals being arrested for flying drones. Okay, whatever. Maybe I mistook that one. So we're gonna have some more basics here coming up here. Let's make sure I get through all this stuff. Military drone testing maybe behind it. That's another one. I think this continuity of government explanation is pretty interesting. I don't want to go through this whole thing, but I want to go through like the parts where he's talking about it. This is interesting. He's basing this off this guy's dreams, but then he starts talking about it. It made me start thinking that you could just you could really just you could get this continuity government thing going on.
Because there's a lot of people talking about this.
Are we in the middle of a psychological operation right now? There are thousands of drone sightings.
I've never seen so many UFOs in my life.
And more weird stuff every single day.
And actually, some of this could be UFOs. I don't know. Because there are some rather strange videos I've seen.
Where's the one
they also want to see how we react to it as part of the shut down an airport. There's one instance of them shutting down an airport. This happened 2 days ago.
Flying their drones near airports. It's not like mystery drones. It's like they actually find the people and they literally arrest people for doing this all the time.
Mystery drones forced New York airport to shut down. From Newsweek. Let's see, where is it?
What about continuity government?
Yeah, here we are. They're everywhere. They're in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York. Overall, a lot of these companies are going out of business. You have Dollar Tree closing 15,000 locations. Feds are urged to deploy high-tech drone hunters to solve mystery behind sightings. Yeah, everyone's urging them, but they're not going to do it because maybe it's them, right? You know,
I don't know. I don't want to go and find that in this video because there's a lot of shit in there. I'm just like, whatever. But then he talked about continuity government. It's like, that's an interesting point. It could be a continuity government thing, like where that if they have some kind of shit going on, like there's some actual drone verbiage in the continuity government agreement, and if there's some kind of drone threat, they could take power from Trump. I don't know. I think it's a long shot, but I try to entertain all theories, just to kind of get them on the board and then knock them off. So all right. So that's the latest, but as you can see, I've been, I got 68 videos in here, and I've been following this for a long time. There's a lot of different stuff in here that I've gone through that I don't feel like do you any good, but I put them in here and I rewatch them. If I don't get to watch them up front, I watch them again later on. I got a whole vast collection of different creators and different takes, right? And I go through this, and some of the stuff I've used in my breaking news segments, but honestly, it's just a way to kind of for me to recap and stay on top of things. So if I see 4 things at once on my feed, I can just grab them, throw them in here, and come back and watch them. But eventually, you start to piece some things together. And as you can see, there's a lot of different stuff going on. We'll get this guy off the screen. There's a lot of different things going on. But let's get to some of the most base takes I've found in all this stuff, right? And where I think that a collection of these, if one not the other, kind of adds up to what it is. A couple of these we've already listened to. We've already listened to our friend Ryan, so we won't go through that one again. We've listened to a lot of this one, but I think that what he says at the end is really important. So let's go ahead, and he's another drone expert.
Now, what about the reports of sightings near military installations? That's pretty concerning, right? These are people flying their drones near military Jersey. And some of y'all getting just a little bit aggressive about it, which is kind of weird, but I get it. So here we go. The first thing that I want to say, I'm not going to criticize anyone's opinions out there in just a few minutes here. And then secondly, the number one request that I have for, and try to avoid making decisions by aircraft. They sound like planes. They look like planes. They are 100% airplanes. It's like people are looking up into the sky for the first time ever. It's weird.
This goes down a few different things, like mass hysteria, goes down military base flyovers, goes down legislation. So it's
the video of someone zooming in with their phone camera, which, by the way, they all look terrible, but they're zooming in on this mysterious glowing orb in the sky. And the guy's just like freaking out, right? You know what it was? It was Venus. Now, on the other hand, there are also many videos showing these mystery objects moving in ways that unconventional aircraft would move, side to side, circular patterns, and so on. Now, those obviously are not manned aircraft. However, every single one of them has FAA compliant navigation lights and anti-collision lights on them, like every single one of them. Those are drones. They sound like drones and they move like drones. These are most likely people flying their drones. So there are a few reports of people stating that the objects they are seeing are the size of small cars. And this is what concerns a lot of people because that's really an unknown. We've never seen drones that large before. The explanation, in my opinion, perspective and parallax. When you look at something in the sky, especially at night, and that's the other thing, you guys, not a single sighting of these mystery drones in the daytime. Isn't that a little bit weird? Anyway, when you look at something in the sky at night, it's almost impossible to tell how high it is above the ground, thereby making it very difficult to assess the size. And it's also difficult to judge movement due to something called the parallax effect. Some things might look like they're sitting still, but they're actually moving, because if you're moving and they're moving, it's going to look like they're sitting still. Like there's a whole thing about the parallax effect. You can look that up as well. So combine the fact that there is no relativity with people who are looking up at the sky for the first time, and obviously you're going to have confusion. Now, I have no doubt that the people are judging the size of these objects incorrectly. And then the press runs with that because it's mysterious and it's engaging. You guys, the press is egregiously misinformed about drones. One news reporter from a major news organization claimed that it is illegal to fly drones at night. Also, I watched one of the representatives from New York state the same thing.
Some may be from hobbyists, but certainly the ones that we're seeing are not. They could be commercial, but if they're commercial, our government should know about it. And they should also know that they're violating FAA airspace, which says you cannot fly between sundown and sunrise, and that's when most of these objects are coming out.
Incredibly ignorant to not get the facts before you go off on national news and get people riled up. So, Representative Maliotakis, please feel free to give me a call, and I'll give you a
I am muted, damn it. Damn it. All right. I had to reset my audio and I didn't realize it muted me on StreamYard. So there you go. Yeah, they call them predator drones and they call them what's the other one? What's the other drone they call it? They have the predator drone, they have the other badass name that was just said earlier. I should know it because I've been looking at these things. But yeah, these things are huge. They have not seen those, right? And they wouldn't see those because those fly very fast, right? They're kind of right.
Rundown about the rules and regulation of flying drones. I've been doing it for 8 years, and I know the rules pretty well. So let's visit. Let's help educate the public. It is perfectly legal to fly a drone at night when following FAA guidelines for doing so. Many of these drones you see flying a drone at night are people flying a drone at night. There are close to 1 million registered drones in this country, and there are estimates that barely half of all drone owners actually register their drone with the FAA. This means that there are most likely about 2 million plus drones out there, and people are flying them more than ever. They're becoming more popular. There's more commercial use of drones. Like, it's just exponential on drone use. I guarantee you that since this story broke, just about every person that owns a drone in New Jersey has went out and flown their drone at night. The more news reports that come out and the more we see it on social media, the more people are going to add to the fire by putting their drone up. Now, I'm sure many of those are registered.
Let's all go
they
do
aren't
it
following
ourselves.
the rules.
If you have
and
a
this is
drone, I want you to fly it tonight, all right?
what so many people are seeing. Now, what about the reports of sightings near military installations? That's pretty concerning, right? These are people flying their drones near military installations. Is this dangerous and illegal? It's very, very illegal, yes. But since when has law stopped people from doing things? Most military bases and critical infrastructure around our country have what's called a geozone around their perimeter. This is basically an invisible wall that prevents some drones from flying into that airspace. For instance, the world's largest drone manufacturer, DJI, is the only company that adheres to these geozones. If you try to fly a DJI drone over a military installation or critical infrastructure, you can't. It won't let you. Your drone will stop in midair like it hit a wall. No other company does this. So if there's a drone flying over a military base, it's either a hobbyist with a non-DJI drone that they got off the shelf or maybe off Amazon for a couple $100, or it's our own military flying their own drones. Some legislators are convinced that this is our own government testing out counterterrorism activity, and they are not being honest with the American people. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI have stated that there should be no concern. There's no risk of public safety. Well, how would they know that? And why would they state that? Like, tell me why you're saying that. People think our federal government knows something, but they aren't telling us. And that is why so many people are upset. And it's just why there's so much fear about this situation. People want transparency and they want openness from our government. And it's pretty obvious that they are not sharing everything that they know.
You know, this is happening. So they need to get, frankly, they should be scrambling something up here, you know, like figure it out. I'm surprised they haven't put a plane up just to like say, here's what we've done. But to see no response, no federal response is truly upsetting. And
Misidentifying them. Like I said, most of these are probably aircraft, but these are smart people, you guys. These, you can look up in the sky and see that's not an airplane. That's a drone flying over my street, right? They are obviously drones that these people are seeing. So yeah, something is definitely happening in New Jersey. And I believe it's a combination of things. First of all, as I stated earlier, I believe that the majority of these drone sightings are people who are mistakenly identifying manned aircraft as drones. They're misjudging the size, the movement, the height, and this causes a little bit of hysteria. So as this became more public, more people are looking up in the sky, and they're suddenly realizing that, wow, our skies are really busy, and they are busy with manned aircraft. It's been going on for years and years. People are just finally noticing it. Secondly, I do think people are seeing drones as well, but a lot of these are simply hobbyists who have decided to have some fun and add to the hysteria, flying where they shouldn't, how they shouldn't, they're going higher than they should. They aren't nefarious people who want to do harm. They are mischievous little rule breakers that want to incite panic. And lastly, and I'm sure some of you will think this is a stretch, and I also think many of you will agree with me, but I believe this could be an effort by our government to inflame the uncertainty and fear that the public has about drones. If you aren't aware, our government at both the state and federal levels have tried very hard to ban the sale and use of drones from China for a few years now. There has been a combined effort to prevent people from securing and using drones from DJI and Autel, the two largest drone manufacturers in the world, who both happen to be Chinese companies. Our government has been claiming that the use of these drones are a threat to national security, as they may have the ability to capture sensitive data and information. However, there are two problems with these efforts. First of all, none of the claims of data collection have been verified or confirmed. Through multiple audits by third parties, there is no proof that DJI has been doing anything that our government says they are doing. Now, does that mean it's not happening? No. I mean, I don't know. Most people don't know. It could be happening. But if you don't have the proof to show the people, it's really hard to sell your case. So you get them to do what you want them to do, right? And another thing that people are really misstating, like a lot of professionals are saying, okay, well, these drones can do facial recognition. They can't, you guys. DJI does not have that ability. You could definitely get a payload and put it on a DJI drone that has facial recognition, but super, super expensive. Nobody's doing that. And it's not the drone that's doing that. It's the company that makes that facial recognition hardware. And then someone's attaching it to a DJI drone. You could do that with any drone, right? Now, secondly, the majority of drones used in this country for commercial use, like search and rescue, agriculture, inspections, all kinds of commercial uses, are mostly DJI drones. And if you ban them, it would result in a massive financial earthquake. And believe it or not, it would affect every single one of you watching this right now if they banned DJI drones right now. So the latest effort to include a Chinese drone ban in the National Defense Authorization Act just failed. Although the potential ban got more traction this year, like it's building every year, it still did not pass for the reasons I just mentioned. So what is the best way to pass legislation that would otherwise face challenges? Fear. You incite fear and uncertainty, you make people afraid of something, and then they will do whatever you want them to do. So how do you get people to fear drones at a higher level? You introduce them to drones in the most uncertain way possible. Next year, when new legislation comes forward, guess what's going to be all over the news? The Great Christmas Drone Mystery of 2024. The events of the last few weeks is the battering ram that our federal government needs to get the Chinese drone ban that they have had so much trouble trying to get through. Now, do I sound a little bit like a conspiracy theorist? Maybe, but the timing certainly makes it worth consideration. The bottom line, you all have nothing to be afraid of with these drones. Please, please do not give in to the panic. The press wants clicks and views. The mischievous drone owners just want to cause trouble. And the government wants you to be afraid, so you ask for what they want you to ask for. My advice, stop looking up at the sky. Go buy yourself a drone. There's a link in the comments for you to find the best ones for new drone users. Subscribe to this channel and learn how to use it. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, that dude's cool. And, you know, just base takes, right? That's what we're doing here. Base takes. All right, so I thought that Tim Pool actually had one of the best takes. I mean, like I said, I review a lot of videos out there. And I think Tim had one of the best takes out there just initially. You know, not 100%, but worth listening to. And then as we kind of move over, we're going to get into the Rand Paul's base take on legislation. And as we can see here, that was going to fall under the government legislation kind of bucket that we're building, the tract we're going down. As the results come in, the Chuck Schumer push for legislation and more technology, is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? He makes it sound really good. Rand Paul makes it sound really bad and unnecessary. But before we get to that, let me go ahead and give you this Tim's base take here on the drone conspiracy. Let's hear it.
There's a million plus registered drones. Some of them are manned aircraft. Some of them are doing standard professional work. They're all legally registered and nothing to see here. Everybody carry on. The ramifications are still clear. There are calls for new legislation over drones, drone response systems, and perhaps it is all one big psychological operation. But the conspiracy theories abound, my friends. They say that there is nuclear material missing, perhaps a nuclear warhead. That's what people want to know. I can tell you this. It is a slow news period, which is rather surprising considering Donald Trump won the election. But I got to tell you, people are tuned out. They're bored. It's the holidays. And we chilling, y'all. So a lot of people, I think, are making something out of nothing. But in this, still, there is a new conspiracy theory. I guess because some people need media and they're bored. Ladies and gentlemen, a viral Twitter post, X post, sorry, Elon, with over 2 million views from 2020, it's a screenshot from 2022 of a 4chan post saying the next PSYOP will be nuclear material used to justify lockdowns. Now, the concern people have, I would describe it more so as PTSD or trauma, not just from COVID lockdowns, but from just, kind of everything the government has done in the past that people just don't trust. The fear is that they're not going to just let Donald Trump walk into the White House. So something must be happening. I don't know that I agree that something must be happening. I think maybe it's as simple as Trump just won. And the reason why people are coming up with these theories is because there is a void of news. I don't know if you guys have ever done sensory deprivation or heard about it, but I think Joe Rogan's talked about it quite a bit. He had the float tanks, they call them. You go in, you lay down, you close it, and you float in the salty water, and you feel nothing. You see nothing, you hear nothing, you smell nothing. And in this sensory deprivation, your mind creates images desperately trying to fill the void. And I think that's partly what we're seeing. The truth is, guys, we're a week away from Christmas. Who wants to be focused on this? We're engaging in our travel plans, our holiday plans. And as much as I am no fan, we're going to be taking 2 weeks off at the end of the year. No, don't get me wrong. I love Christmas. But Christmas is Wednesday. New Year's is Wednesday. There ain't no way we're going to get anything done. But we will be back after the break on January 6th. And things should be kicking off once again. We've got a lot of interesting developments. But I do think the theories are interesting, and I love talking about it, and I'm here to do the work for you when no one else is. So let's talk about it. I rightly do not care what the White House says on this one. John Kirby basically is like, look, we've done a bunch of analysis. Everything's fine. Go home. Nothing to see here. Yeah, I don't buy it. Because when the drone story came out, clearly there are drones flying, and the government acting like they don't know what they are is a lie. Even Trump came out in the press conference saying they know exactly what this is. They're just not telling you. Yeah, perhaps the psychological operation was to see, as some have suggested, what the public would do with the unknown. How will they respond? Will they panic? How will the economy be affected? I honestly don't know.
He makes some good points through here.
In an effort to terrify people and force them to undergo more government restrictions, lockdowns, etc. And this is going viral. I am going to say outright, not necessarily debunking it, but providing some counterpoints as to why I don't believe this stuff. But how about I just read for you what they wrote? We have this post. It's from Paranormal on 4chan. It's been archived.
How do you read these?
It is from August 22nd, 2022. Picture of Jupiter. And it says, the next false flag. It says the next false flag will be centered on the premise of malicious interdiction of nuclear source materials. It will not involve a nuclear device or nuclear detonation, but rather a radiological threat. Nuclear source materials will be deliberately leaked to target areas to inflict severe injuries through radiation exposure. The real number of casualties as a result of these attacks will remain very low. The purpose is to create a new method of restricting freedom of movement and new policies that will enable the government to continue its expansion of power. The media will display images of attack survivors. Let's go back to the tweet in question, because it is a different image, strangely, but it's the same post. And this one's actually, you know what? This post is actually from May 23rd, so it predates that one. Let's just pull this one up. It says, they'll remain very low. The purpose is to create a new method of restricting freedoms, expansion of power. The media will display images of attack survivors who will have burns and lesions across their skin, videos depicting overwhelmed triage centers with victims vomiting or otherwise unresponsive will be shared on social media. The threat of radiation exposure, an invisible enemy, will be used as a primary vector. An application to monitor COVID contact tracing will be installed on every mobile device that uses iOS or Android. The application will serve to notify the user about potential hazards.
This is a bunch of bullshit spouted off by somebody on Adderall. Let's see.
You hear the stories. It's just fascinating to me because I talk about Occupy having, obviously been down there, and I see these books getting written. and they just omit everything. They romanticize it. They make it seem like this tremendous moment because they have to, because they're selling you a product.
All right.
Tall tales, as it were. There's going to be some.
You can check out this one by Tim. It's pretty good. And there's another one. I know that wasn't that informative, but I just was like, okay. There was a different one. Let me see if I have it. It's got to be here. Man, I see, and like a lot of the things that he's talking about now, I've already been through and debunked tonight. So drones reported over New Jersey nuclear power plants, New York airports, officials say. Mystery as radioactive shipment goes missing. I've already debunked all that tonight. So sometimes I get way ahead of these guys, and I save it, I put it on the board, and I come back to it. I'm like, I've already done this. I've already like completely destroyed this. So there's no need to hear Tim Pool do it, even though he's a more popular version. I've already done it, and usually I'm way ahead of these guys, at least by a couple of days, if not a week or more. Like, it happens, and it happens a lot. And thank God I'm not viral, because people might know shit sooner. All right, so let's go into government legislation. So this is the big one right here, okay? And we're rounding home here. We're gonna start moving stuff around and figure out what we think. For those of you solution architects that are here, Memento, good to see you. But hey, Memento, before you go, any parting ideas, anything you want to say about the situation? I don't care if they ban drones or anything else made in China. Anything else you want to say about just the root cause issue? What is your take, Memento? And everybody, just give me your take on this right now, like as you have it, before we head into this next track here. Just give me your take, man. Don't mean to ignore you guys. I hope you guys don't think I'm ignoring you. I just got to go through this information as best I can. But Memento, seriously, I'm going to get up close to the camera. Let me know if you're still here, if you haven't already clicked out, what your take is. Snafu, what is your take on this? Anybody, please, somebody say something. And thank you. Remember to listen to the Wolf. He always knows what he's talking about. I guess I didn't catch Memento in time. Anybody over there on Rumble want to chime in as to what they, at this point, believe was going on here at this crazy world, this crazy time in our place? I know we're down to 6 people over there right now, but hey, look, why not? Why not? One of you 6 can say something incredibly cool. Snafu says it might have been an RQ4 global. Oh, well, you talk about what you saw? Okay. Okay. Well, you guys think about it. I want to go ahead and get into this part, because this part is the real interesting part. And of course, I want to get into what Rand Paul has to push back. Government legislation. You can always judge a situation by the results. My take is shady stuff is happening. What kind of shady stuff? On what track here, man? What track? Here's your possibilities. Right here. Right. Do you think it's one or more, many? One thing leads to another. What else do I have? Missing nuclear warhead material. That can't be. That can't even be closer. This is just one of the several things they're putting on the U.S. military. But I would say that, I'm trying to think about how to put this on the board as far as what Chuck Schumer and the government's trying to do to passing legislation. The U.S. government, right? I guess I just say, well, they're not. I don't think they're putting the drones out there. I guess it could be a possibility. I think they're just reacting. That's why I didn't have it on here. And I really I don't think we need to even worry about business operations, right? Let's just take that off the board. Foreign actors is in the maybe bucket right now. I think that the drone hobbyists and trolling kind of fall under mass hysteria. And it could be, these guys could be adding to it, or they could be their own thing. I don't know. I'm probably put it right there. And I just think, I think some people can be gathering intelligence for during this fog of confusion, this mass hysteria. It's an optimal time to try to do something. And just be like, oh, I don't know what I was doing. Everybody else doing it. Like the Chinese guy. you know, the thing, like I said, when you start really dissecting this stuff, it starts to make less and less sense, right? But U.S. military or intelligence agencies, one and the same, both. I mean, how would you put this together here, right? So how do we squeeze in the U.S. government and legislation? If they're not part of it, they're reacting to it, and as a result, maybe that's why I don't have it in the possibility buckets. I have it as more of a result. Let me just get rid of that. More of a result, right? Alien invasion. Lex, what's up? At least somebody said something. There you go. At least somebody said something. Nothing happens out of nowhere. If Schumer is for it, I'm against it. The thing is, you can fly these drones low. Yeah, you can fly them. You can fly them low. It's likely just manned aircraft distorted by the dark at night. People are sheep who buy at everything, and when the rain leader starts acting skittish, da 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 da. Right. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Think about that. Let's get into the legislation, and we'll come back around. And I want you to pay close attention to what old Chucky's saying here. And then you're gonna see that he goes through here. I think I played the last half of this, so I'm only gonna play like up to a certain point. And I want you to see the intro to this, and then we're gonna go over to the what went down today. All right. So it won't be all the 13 minutes. It'll just be like 5.
Live now from Fox. I'm Stephanie Quinu. Time right now is 2:38 Eastern, 11:38 Pacific. I wanted to share this social media post by Senator Chuck Schumer, who says that I'm pushing for answers amid these drone sightings. He's talking about the dozens of mysterious drone sightings that folks have been seeing in the skies above New Jersey, New York, and a number of other areas across the United States. He continues his social media post to say, quote, I'm calling for Secretary Mayorkas to deploy special drone detection tech across New York and New Jersey, and I'm working to pass a bill in the Senate to give local law enforcement more tools for drone detection. This is a live look right here at both New York and New Jersey. New York being on the left-hand side of your screen, New Jersey, Rutherford, New Jersey, right there on the right-hand side. This has really been weeks of fear about drones buzzing over parts of New York and New Jersey. And now Senator Schumer is urging the federal government to deploy better drone tracking technology to identify and to ultimately stop these drones. So just earlier today, he is now calling on the Department of Homeland Security to immediately deploy special technology that identifies and tracks drones back to their landing spots. His calls come amid growing public concern that the federal government has not offered clear explanations as to who exactly is operating these drones and hasn't stopped them. National security officials have said the drones do not appear to be a sign of foreign intelligence and interference, but there is a lot of skepticism. President-elect Trump posting on social media last week, quote, can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? I don't think so. Let the public know, and now, otherwise shoot them down. Now, certain agencies within the Department of Homeland Security have the power to incapacitate drones. However, Secretary Mayorkas was sharing with journalists, quote, we need those authorities expanded, although he didn't exactly say how. He also said that the drones do not appear to be linked to foreign governments. Moments ago, as Senator Schumer talking about the push for better drone detection, and I wanted to play that out for you now.
So I'll give it
1
to
o'clock.
him. I'll let him go.
Okay.
This
All
is
right.
white balance.
Okay.
I think we got it already.
Thank you.
Aiden, you're going to record for
How am I going to hold this up? Okay. I'll do it this way. Okay.
And you do this
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good to be back. And first, a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy everything to everybody. Okay. So why are we here today? We're here today because it's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's a drone. And when it comes to drones, people in the New York area and all across the country have more questions than answers. We've seen lots of recent sightings in New York, New Jersey, Long Island, Staten Island. So it's remarkable with all these sightings over the last while, why do we have more questions than answers? Well, we're here today for 3 reasons. First, to push a new but unclassified tech into wide use, the so-called Robin, to get answers on these drones, and also to announce that I am going to help pass, and I'm going to co-sponsor legislation that will combat these drones in a better way by allowing local police departments and state police departments to help the feds in sighting these drones, which so many have requested. If the technology exists for a drone to make it up into the sky, there certainly is the technology that can track the craft with precision and determine what the heck is going on. And that's what the Robin does. Today, we're asking the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, to deploy special detection systems like the Robin, which use not a linear line of sight, but 360-degree technology that has a much better chance of detecting these drones. And we're asking DHS to bring them to the New York, New Jersey area. That's what we're trying to do, number one. Once we get those answers, we will be in much better shape. Let's face it. Our local people
that's what it is, Wolf.
who have our local people who have questions about these drones should not have to shake an 8-ball to get an answer. They want real answers, and the Robin can supply those answers, and that's what we want.
I thought that was the Robin. This isn't the Robin?
Want them here.
I don't know. I gotta look up Robin now.
So this is a broader and better response to the technology than we now have, and we need them deployed. Technology like the Robin was originally targeted to assess birds in aviation, so it can find little things, because when birds fly into a plane, it can be very, very damaging. But that precision is just the kind of technology, the 360-degree type of technology that will make it much easier to figure out.
It's bird detection, giving ground teams accurate insight into a full view of airspace with the 3D aviation radiation system. Protect your airfield from bird strikes. Protect your airfield from bird strikes and gather data to support your wind or construction site. Drone detection. Our drone radar deploys and integrates in minutes, alerting you if fixed-wing or hovering drones as easy as possible. Detect, track, and classify drones in real time for informed, efficient information. So it's a radar system.
What these drones are, where they are, and find out even who is launching them. I've had briefings from the Department of Homeland Security. These are not classified, so I can talk about them, about this technology. I asked them about it last week, and they said this is late last week, and this is just the kind of technology we need. Drone radar is based on the use of radio waves. The radio waves are sent out in short pulses, and that means it's detectable. The question is, why haven't the federal authorities detected them yet? But now we're pushing them to get this done quickly because it's been too long when there have been no answers. Now, it is true it's not so easy. Some of the drones are small. Some of the drones' flight patterns are erratic. Multiple drones flying together can confuse a traditional radar system. And that's why, again, this new technology can really get us the answers that we need.
Let the drone, who owns this shit? Who owns Robin? And how much money have they given him? Company. About us. About us. Who owns you? We're proud to work with Royal Air Force, a bunch of people, Heathrow Airport. Hey, you're not really telling me who you are. I guess they're their own company. They can make some money though. Yeah, there they are. There's the people leading with purpose. I wonder if they're part of the WEF. I don't know. Anyways, maybe they're just a company that makes radar. Could be. Anyway, so you get the gist of what he's talking about here, right? I'm not going to let him go on and on because I want to get to the good stuff, which is Rand Paul's response to this. So, they went up on the Hill today, 3 hours from when I made this link, and they basically said the same thing again, right? He's basically just, I want this, I want that. And then he has his friend come up, Gary Peters. And Gary Peters says the same thing again, right? And you get to this point about right here where I want to start.
And ensure that law enforcement can better.
Right here.
28 co-sponsors from both sides of the aisle, 14 Democrats, 11 Republicans, and 3 independents. And as the number of registered drones continue to grow, so does the need to pass this critical legislation to ensure that our law enforcement agencies can address these potential threats. So I urge my colleagues to join me in passing this common sense bill to
Common
safeguard our
sense.
homeland and ensure that law enforcement can better protect our
Common
communities
sense.
from
Therefore,
the
you should do
potential
it.
threats posed by recklessly or nefariously operated drones. So I ask unanimous consent that the Committee on Homeland Security and Government Affairs be discharged from further consideration of S 1631 and the Senate proceed to its immediate consideration, that the Peters substitute amendment, which is at the desk, be considered and agreed to, and the bill as amended be considered read a third time and passed, and the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table with no intervening action or debate.
Yeah, everybody shut up and do what I say.
Senator from Kentucky.
Reserving the right to object. No one disputes that drones flying in airspace could be a danger. The drones flying over the Super Bowl could be a danger. The drones flying over our military bases could be a danger. That's why it's illegal. It's currently illegal, and the federal government has the capacity to investigate and stop drones that are in airspace, over our military bases, following our ships. We have that capacity. But what is disputed, and what the Biden administration is currently telling us, is they don't see a problem. So if there is a problem, let the Biden administration be forthcoming. Let us know the extent of the problem. Let us know who's flying the drones, and let us know what's going on. Instead, this bill says, well, we don't know. The Biden administration doesn't know, but why don't we give the power to the local officials to go after drones?
Blame Canada.
But I rise today to object to this unanimous consent request because at the time, public trust in government is in historic lows. This body must not rush to grant sweeping surveillance powers without proper consideration and debate by the committees of jurisdiction, which is what I pledged to do beginning in January when we will be in charge of the committees. Yet what is going on is exactly what this legislation seeks to do now, is to expand federal authority to intercept communications and disrupt drone activity, powers that raise serious concerns for Americans' privacy, civil liberties, and Fourth Amendment protections against unwarranted search and seizure. We are being told this legislation is urgent, that it is needed to address an imminent drone threat, yet the government itself admits no such threat exists. So either there is a threat or there isn't a threat, but the Biden administration keeps saying, well, it's all normal stuff and it's just planes. So it is or it isn't. Why don't we try to get to the truth of the matter of what actually exists and what the threat is before we propose legislation? Federal agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI, have stated clearly that there is no current national security risk, no public safety concern, and no unlawful drone activity requiring intervention. So there either is a problem or there isn't a problem. If there is a problem, let's discuss how to do it while protecting the communications of innocent Americans whose their communications could be caught up in this legislation. Until the assessment, the federal assessment changes. The assessment that it isn't a problem changes to that it is a problem, and these are the malefactors. These are the people that are orchestrating this. Let's get that from the Biden administration. Tell us what the problem is. Tell us the extent of the problem. Instead, the Biden administration is saying there's not a problem. So, Madam President, this pattern is all too familiar. History has shown us time and time again how fear and manufactured urgency are used as pretext to expand government power at the expense of freedom. After 9/11, Congress passed the Patriot Act. In the name of security, Americans were promised that these surveillance powers were necessary. They would only be directed towards foreigners. They would only be directed towards terrorists until we discovered that these powers were being used on Americans. Americans were promised that these powers were necessary and temporary. Instead, they were abused, misused, and weaponized. Innocent Americans had their privacy violated, their data collected, and their rights trampled. The lesson here is clear. When Congress legislates in haste, without careful scrutiny, without debate, and without accountability, it is the American people who suffer the consequences. Today, we are facing a similar moment. The bill before us would grant law enforcement significant authority to intercept private electronic communications without consent. For example, The bill would allow the government to conduct dragnet surveillance of the phones innocent Americans traveling through U.S. airports as long as the government claims they are doing it to neutralize a drone. So in order to look at the information that might be coming to a drone, it may be that you capture all the information of everybody surrounding an airport or everybody who lives near an airport. Once you have all that data, what are the assurances that the government isn't looking at your data in addition to the data that may be related to flying the drone? This is not just about security. It's about unchecked government overreach. It's about capitalizing on fear and media-driven hysteria to jam through sweeping legislation that could violate the civil liberties of American people. Congress has a constitutional responsibility to serve as a check on the executive power, not as a rubber stamp for it. The federal government already has the power to deal with drones. The federal government already has the power to stop any drones that are in airspace around airports. The federal government already has the power to protect its air bases. So if there is a significant problem here, the Biden administration needs to come forward and let us know, who are these drones? Who's operating these drones? What is the federal government doing to protect either airports or bases from this? Instead, we are told by the Biden administration there is no threat to our national security. So let's first insist on truth and transparency from the Biden administration before offering up legislation that is feel good, pat somebody on the back and say, oh, we've done something about drones. We are strong on drones. Congress has a constitutional responsibility to serve as a check on executive power, not as a rubber stamp. We owe it to the American people to demand compelling justification, meaningful safeguards, and full transparency before granting any new surveillance authorities. We are a nation of laws, not fear, not panic, and not manufactured urgency. We do not trade away our freedoms, our privacy, and our constitutional protections for vague promises of security. I will object to this bill today, but I am open to talking with the authors of this bill about how we could have enhanced ability to interrupt drone activity, but done while protecting all Americans' constitutional right to privacy. Madam President, I object.
There you go. I mean, probably the most base take of the night right there. Rand Paul right there in the bucket. All right. So here we are. Guys, what's going on out there in the crowd? Let's talk about what it is and what it's not. Right? Let's run over to the possibilities bucket. We've taken a lot of things out of here already. I think it's a combination of, I would say, these things right here. And I wouldn't say that there's an active campaign of foreign actors yet. We've detected some, right? So I kind of throw them under this bucket of, yeah, maybe there's always a little bit of this going on, right? A little bit of foreign adversaries doing some surveillance here and there. I mean, would you guys be surprised, honestly, if there wasn't? Would you be surprised if there wasn't? Is this a military op? I mean, people are trying to sell this narrative, right? There's definitely mass hysteria, and it's definitely media and internet induced. It's a combination of people with drones out there doing stuff, making videos, some trolling, amateur expert hour. I guess that's a good one. It's like, amateur experts. These people are always a problem, but it's got to use amateur. I'm gonna spell it wrong, of course. Armature. What? Okay. Non-experts. Let's see, expert. Non-experts making claims. Content and content creators, of course. Yeah, content creators, creator speculation. That's fine. All right, let's leave it there. All right, and move these guys down. Okay. So we got some of that under media mass hysteria, plenty of it going on. And then people just kind of searching for answers, but basically basing it on whatever they're being told by the media and the government. I think there's some government induced media, government, internet, mass hysteria. All right. You guys really, if you want to participate, you can. I keep asking if you want to get in on this board. You want me to throw something up in a bucket? Let me know. Let's talk about it. I really want to work with you guys, but I'll be doing, I'll be happy to do the work. But it's like, if what it's a drone program for some sort or early warning system, a government test being run to see if drones patrolling could be used as some sort of early warning mechanism is IBM CB. So then you see so when you have a theory like this, you have a proposed possibility like this, right? You're mixing a couple of different things here, in a sense. At least we have to parse it out, right? So, are the drones government drones? That's the question you have to ask here. All right. So we haven't determined if any of these are government drones. That's the thing, and I have yet to see anything that would determine that. So it would have to be kind of like a theoretical speculation kind of thing that government's testing being run to see if drone patrolling could be used as some sort of early warning mechanism for ICBM launch. Well, you'd have to try to launch missiles. So if you're doing testing, you have to create a testing scenario. So you'd have to be launching an ICBM in order to see if the testing was effective, if the drones could detect that prior to it. That's the thing I said about the drone sniffing, radiation sniffing theory, right? Is that we're not seeing any coordinated ground efforts. If some missing hazardous material or nuclear warhead were possible, right? If that was happening, don't you think that they would have some ground operations coordinating with the drones in the sky? You're just going to let the drones take care of all of it? You're not going to have, if a state or a town or a city or any place civilian in our country was under this type of threat, would we not see some coordination here? Would we not see boots on the ground? Where are the boots on the ground? And I don't guess that, they could test this kind of stuff on a base, right? They could go out to the desert somewhere and test this theory right here. So why do it over New Jersey? Why do it at night? Why do it with your lights fully on? Why? These are the questions. This is questioning to the void, right? That's what we do. Question to the void. Throw it out there so we can, there's no bad thing to throw out, right? It's just like when you throw it out there, then you question to the void and figure out if it makes any sense. My thinking is if they are half government, everything is about plausible deniability. So my thought is that they're not directly owned by government, but owned by government subcontractors. So they're subcontracting government subcontractors, right? They're spending money. So there's a money trail here somewhere. And so they can deny it, but what are the tests exactly then? So where are the tests? What are the drones supposed to do, or where are the testing on the ground? Is it military? Is it if it's subcontracting, are they coordinating with military? Are they coordinating with local authorities? Who is running this? Is this intelligence agencies operating outside the scope of government? What's going on? My government can say without lying they don't own them, well as controlling how they are being used. Dig a little deeper on that one. I'm definitely consideration, but I think it needs a lot of fleshing out, right? NGOs, non-government organizations, amateur, yeah, amateur experts, amateur. Thank you. I'll never forget it now. A mate, you are. A mate, you are. All right. And so, intelligence agencies, if so, what kind of drones where and when? Is it, obviously not 100%, right? Some, but not 100%. Some, but not 100%. But that would be let's say, let's do it like this. Let's call this government ops, right? And let's take this and pull military down here. Because I have a source in the military that says that the military is not involved in this, but there is compartmentalization people will throw out there. So we'll throw military right here and we'll give us a little space. There we go. Satisfying. All right. Anything other? We said testing. So testing. Testing. Let's say this testing in general, right? We'll leave it general and we'll pull these down. All right, there we go. So one of these people working under government testing government ops would be include and let's say we'll include this as well. We'll say testing and manufacturing consent for legislation. So reasons why they would be involved in this right here. So now that we absorbed the information, we're going to get into this part, right? So there we go. Nice and lined up. Don't you love Miro? Miro is awesome. All right. So different ideas about why they would be doing it. Manufacturing consent for legislation, missing nuclear warhead material, testing of any sort, right? Some kind of technology testing. Oh yeah, let's say that. Say technology. Technology testing. All thoughts considered. Also, fixed wing model aircraft existed way before quads. That's true. Copter drones became popular. My dad used to fly model aircrafts that were with a 6-foot wingspan. And where the hell OS Space Force? He's around. He's around, but doesn't, he's a very private person. He's very private, but he's around. I'll just leave it at that. So yeah, we went over that whole like spying thing over the Space Force thing as well. So there we go. So we have a couple of different buckets here that are left, right, and possibilities, but these subcategories underneath of them, I think that without a doubt, it's a combination of these things in some way, shape, or form. However, I don't know quite how to formulate this where one thing leads to another, right? So I guess that'd be the manufacturing consent for legislation, but that could mean that they're either using drones to do that or that they are playing off the mass hysteria of massive reports 3 years running of drone sightings between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve. And here's how we test this out, right? After New Year's Eve, if all this stuff disappears, we'll know that that's what it was, right? So a lot of these things and the truth of the matter is that we can get to a most likely tonight or soon, maybe not even tonight, but soon. But we're still got to wait for results. Results are the key thing here, right? So what happens, right? So we already saw there's a good possibility for legislation being passed, right? What do they really want to try to do? They're trying to put this Robin radar system. They're trying to put this out there to more people, right? To locals, to give locals more authority to shut down, maybe to like the one guy was saying over here, was saying that right here, New Jersey Christmas drone mystery, that when it comes up next year, they can ban Chinese drones, right? Whether they're recreational or not. They'll bring this back up, right? We have to be careful because you remember like last Christmas. So now we have the scenario that's implanted. The situation's been implanted in history, right? Dronepocalypse 2024 has been put into history It is now therefore on the record. All this hysteria is on the record. All these initiatives are on the record. And we already know that in the past, there has been, they've been trying to ban and regulate drones more and more and more. And you know, for the most part, there are some reasonable reasons to do it. We certainly the idea of, you know, someone taking, and I got this other video I want to show you. Hold on, let me find the link for it. I know I don't think I have it saved right in the right place. This sheriff laid out some good reasons as to why they need some stuff, right? And I get what Rand Paul is saying too. Where is that? There it is. Okay. So let's see. And I'm bugging people, trying to have conversations with other creators about this, but doing my best here. Okay. But you know what? People have their ideas about things, and they're going with their hunches and their instincts, and that's cool. Certainly would love to collaborate more with other folks on these type of situations, but time will tell. The Lord will put me where he needs me to be. All right. This guy. This is a great interview. And you guys can tell me what you think about this. Let me make sure I got it all set up straight before I switch over. Talking about the need for these things. Are they real? Is it not? Do we not need them? We know that we have a drone-filled future, right? Obviously, if anything that, like I said in the beginning, if anything has led to anything this situation has led to, what it's led to is, I believe, at least a paradigm shift in understanding what our future is going to look like, right? Whether it's national security, a rollout of the normalization of drone technology. Now, there's a couple of different ones here too. Did I show this other one? I'm gonna show this other one first, and then I'll talk to you about this. This one's really cool. In fact, it should probably go in the cool things category if I still have it up right. I saw this dude earlier. Where's that? I think it's down a little bit further. Oh, here he is. Okay. TK's Garage, a good old boy. He's a good old boy. TK's Garage. Yeah, here we go. This guy talks about air taxis. Air taxis are pretty cool.
Welcome on back to TK's Garage. I've had a lot of people asking me, what do these drones are electric, and in some cases they're building hybrid models, so gas/electric, for the United States military. And it looks like Archer Aviation's military division is probably going to outdo, which of course this is what happens, their civilian division.
So that's something that's been happening. It's a real thing, right?
I'm going to throw up some clips here that you can see what they look like as they take off, land, fly, and talk about some of the specs. Now, I'll play a clip later from Bloomberg where they were talking with the CEO from Archer.
Look at that. I mean, that thing's flying over a highway. You think people are freaking out about that?
Typically stated that these vehicles have almost no heat signature, which would make sense because they've said the vehicles or the aircraft, the small short buses they've seen flying in New Jersey have zero heat signature. So I'm going to drop this up here. This is a short video which can show you the flying capabilities. They have the ability to hover, and they have a tilt rotor design, very similar to what you would expect to see on that new Bell aircraft that's supposed to take over for Blackhawks in the Army, and very similar to the Osprey, which you would see with the Navy and the Marines. It basically comes from a vertical.
That thing's cool. That's cool looking. It looks like a Falcon or something. It's got that beak on the front. Got the propellers on top and the fixed wings out here to the side. Kind of a hybrid of quadcopters and fixed wings. And that could look very different from the ground, right?
Position, and the rotors slowly tilt as it picks up speed.
Look at that. That's
now, the electric
cool
version of this, which I know has been delivered to the Air Force at this point, I believe the video is still up on the Air Force, but they did publish it publicly. This aircraft, this VTOL, whatever they want to call this thing, is I saw flying it at excess of 115 miles an hour in ground speed, which is not bad for that. These are basically, on the civilian side, air taxis. They're going to be used to get people from, say, Manhattan to LaGuardia, right? Or Manhattan to some other spot at the Port Authority. On the
All right, so they want to introduce air taxis, right? Remember to listen to the Wolfie News what he's talking about. Then they need more hobbyist drone regulations, right? Because people could fly drones into these other air taxis committing business. So you have business operations and then hobbyist usage, right? And how do you regulate the two? How do you deal with the two? How do you enforce laws that regulate to keep people from flying drones into other drones?
New Jersey side, they'll be used to go, back and forth, 5 or 6 times probably before they have to be charged on the electric side. And they'll probably do the same thing in Los Angeles. I'm out here on the West Coast, and if you ever go to LA, a 15-mile or 20-mile trip could take you over an hour. And now you could just jump on one of these air taxis and then catch an Uber from the landing zone and be there in 5 or 10 minutes, which is
doesn't that sound cool? I mean, don't you want to have a future where you're flying around in drones and take an Uber and it takes you 5 minutes? I mean, don't you want to do that? I mean, it sounds cool, right? I mean, why would we not want to have something cool like this?
It's pretty cool. So there is a need for it. I think it's a little bit ahead of its time on the civilian side. On the military side, I don't. I think the military side, it's ready to go. But let me give you this quick clip of Archer Aviation's CEO also talking about the product, so you have an idea of where they're going.
Done in partnership with Anduril.
Look at that money.
So we're building a hybrid electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. It will have a lot of the same capabilities that you've seen on the commercial side. So these are vehicles that can be produced at much lower costs. They're vehicles that have low acoustic, low thermal signatures. And so applications that will be very helpful towards defense vehicles. I think it's also really important to the U.S. Department of Defense that we add new capabilities. There's this whole new trend in affordable autonomous aircraft that can help bring new capabilities, but also at the same time dramatically lower costs.
You've been working with the Department of Defense for a few years, going back to 2021, but now you're just creating this separate defense division. Why are you doing it now? And what's different about defense tech going into 2025? Is this about a new administration?
Yeah, so Archer has a team of around 1,000 people, and we've been working for a long time on building out the capabilities of our aircraft. As the aircraft matured, it allows us to take that platform and build variants of it that can be useful across different applications. You combine that with the new administration, and you have an incredible opportunity for us to dramatically expand our business. So on the commercial side, it can be certainly very big, but it also is, for some people, hard to define. On the defense side, it's very clear that there are new needs that the Defense Department, is looking for, and we can certainly fill those as well. So the opportunity here really is pretty impressive.
What's the type of infrastructure that has to be in place for the Defense Department at bases here and at outposts around the
And there you guys have it. Look, I'm sure that there's probably other hobbyists or other people that are flying stuff. Damn, this cough is killing me. Up in New Jersey right now. I can't attest for 50 drones.
All right, so that's what he's saying right there. I thought it was pretty cool. You got that coming around, right? You got that happening here pretty soon. Maybe not too soon, but man, I tell you what, it should. Now, let's take this into consideration with this guy, this sheriff, really lays out the complications of this future that we're looking at, right? And what it means. So we have to mitigate some of these things in order to have some of these other things. Let's hear what he has to say. This is a great interview, and I thought it was really good, and it's pretty based all the way through. Let's hear it.
People, power, and politics, and it's a story that has so many people talking. Those mysterious drones flying over parts of New Jersey, and on this show, we're going to make sure we unpack every inch of this story. Here with a law enforcement perspective, Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard. And Mike, it's always good to see you, Sheriff. You wrote a letter to Congress, and you basically said, let's just look at some numbers here. Look at the violations that are happening year to date, and the numbers are staggering. What did you tell them?
Yeah, well, I mean, just year to date, year over year has gone up exponentially. Year to date, 729,000 airspace violations, meaning they did things in the airspace airspace that they were not allowed by rule or law. 664,000 violations in airport airspace. Now that's super dangerous. You put one of these in a crewed aircraft flight path, 13,000 over power infrastructure. Well, we've seen them used against power infrastructure around the world to blow up key power and infrastructure sites. 14,000 over correctional facilities. There was a gang that was arrested and charged in Georgia for dropping drugs, cell phones, and weapons into the prison yards. Now imagine if you've got somebody dropping a gun into the prison yard.
But you also have a drone that in Ecuador exploded right into a correctional facility.
It blew it up.
And so you have all of these staggering numbers. The letter that you wrote to Congress says, you know what? You got to do something. And you're not just soft about this. You're actually saying do something yesterday. What is the biggest problem that you see? What is standing in the way?
Well, Congress has to give the FAA the authority to give us the authority to have interdiction capability. That's all that's standing in the way. Years ago, I had a PO to go buy interdiction machinery. So if something was a danger to the community or breaking the law, we could intervene and try to safely end that threat, that problem. And Washington not only didn't help, they got in the way and prevented that purchase.
Okay, I got to pause there. So you're telling me that you at Oakland County, which is one of the most populous counties in Michigan, said, hey, we got to get some anti-drone technology for us because we're worried about people getting hurt. You asked Washington, Washington said, no can do.
They said, we won't let you do it. Not only is it not something that we will help you with, we're going to actively stand in your way.
No explanation as to why they would stand in the way?
You know, there's different people that have different theories about how this is going to be used, but the fact is the only time it would or could or should be used is when it's putting somebody or something in danger and breaking a law. Those two are the parameters. There's a ton of hobbyists that fly drones. Great, good on them. Follow the rule, follow the law. But if you're a drunk driver driving a car, driving the wrong way on the freeway, we want to stop you from doing that. If you're driving the right way and not drunk,
drive a car.
Have it at your car.
So let's talk about if it's your drone out in New Jersey. Take us there for a moment and talk about what the biggest issue you see here. The drones are flying dozens a day. People are concerned. Are these accurate sightings? Do you believe that people actually are seeing drones, or do you think they're seeing helicopters and planes as well?
Well, I think at this point, because so many people are looking at the sky, it's a mix. But there's advanced drone detection capability, UAS, unmanned aerial systems, and there are other kinds of systems that tune in on frequency and other kinds of things. Those systems exist. So if Washington just decided, hey, let's engage, something might be going on here, rather than let it fester for weeks, because after weeks, probably some people are popping up their drones to see what's going on and maybe see if they could follow the other things. Now you're adding to the traffic. Early on, they could have got in there with the right equipment and said, this is nothing to be concerned about, or this is somebody breaking the law, or this is something we're not sure what the intent is. That is available. They have those systems already in the Department of Defense and Homeland Security. They won't let local governments have or use it.
And whether you like it or not, everything goes down to politics. You heard President-elect Trump say this administration should be addressing this. They should be talking about it. And people are concerned, and they're saying there's nothing to be concerned about. These drones have flown over military facilities, nuclear plants, and also Trump's Bedminster Golf Club.
100%.
Why would anyone say that's okay? In what world? I mean, I kind of like, as a journalist, I just sit here and go like, why would the government say there's nothing to see here when there's everything to see everywhere?
100%. And not only that, you know, the person that actually shot President-elect Trump did drone flights as pre-operational surveillance. You know, if you look at this tactically, here's the scary thing. They could see him when he was shooting and thankfully could engage him. But what if he did pre-op surveillance, determined where the stage was, and now he's a half mile away when Trump goes up on there. No one sees him, and that drone comes in very quickly at treetop height, and it can be weaponized. You know, the NFL has one of their highest priorities to give authority to protect NFL football games because they've had serious problems. They had to shut down one of the playoff games a year ago. And thank God it wasn't weaponized, but it's not because we're good. It's because we're lucky. And so I applaud the NFL for seeing this threat. Major League Baseball is one of the biggest proponents now as well because they've had serious problems. But everybody deserves protection. What about the Dream Cruise? What about the regular
concerts,
parades in a community, concerts, all of those mass venues? There were 12,000 mass events and entertainment venues that were incurred by an unknown drone.
Violations of airspace. We got to take a break here, but I did have a question about what can people do? Do they call their lawmakers? Do you call Representative Haley Stevens, Debbie Dingell, John James, and do you say, you guys got to do something? What do you say?
Well, thankfully, you know, the names you just rattled off have been very supportive of law enforcement and the safety concern, but there's a few people in Congress that have stood in the way for false and nonsensical reasons for protecting the community. And if and when we have a tragedy in one of their community events at a parade or a football game, shame on them. They'll be holding a hearing ask it why it happened. And I'm telling you right now, it happened because you didn't do something and sat by for years.
Yeah, those congressional hearings can be like getting a root canal after something already happens, and they have a hearing, right, wagging their fingers at people after that. We have some questions from you at home. We're going to be asking the questions right to the sheriff coming up next. Plus, what about UFOs? An expert on UFOs weighs in on this whole drone mess.
Yeah,
You're
not
right. The Pulse is
happening.
back in 3 minutes. Hey, Jessica, on the Pulse Force tonight. Thank you.
I mean,
I
it's
have
laying
to
out
agree
some
here.
of the problems
at
we
some point,
face.
if you keep telling me that my house isn't on fire, but I smell smoke and I
But
feel like my house is on fire,
also,
and you tell me it's going to be okay, I'm not going to
how
trust you.
can we negate
People shouldn't
them
just trust everything that people say here. Aaron
without
Tobin is writing in on the
people's
Pulse. He said Sheriff
privacy?
Bouchard is on the record saying
That's
that he
what
thinks
has
these
to
drones
have
are a threat. You made that
done.
clear here today. Does he think our government is lying to us about them? Does he think the government knows more than they are saying?
Well, I think the DoD and Homeland Security has capabilities to detect and to analyze things that we don't have. They won't give us at the local level. So lying, very possibly, or just asleep at the switch and now they're trying to scramble. But why wouldn't they have sent detection equipment, advanced detection equipment out sooner than later, especially when you're talking military bases or critical infrastructure? Figure out what the heck's going on. Is it a threat? Is it a lost hobbyist that doesn't understand the rules? Is it a foreign adversary? Has it been weaponized? None of that they've answered other than saying, we don't think it's a problem. Nothing to see here. And if that's a problem, to not be transparent when you have the skill set.
Well, and also it's our taxpayers.
So what do you guys think about that? He's saying that they have the skill set. They don't say it. And yet they want to be able to, the sheriff here, this is a sheriff, wants to be able to take these type of actions in their own hands. And I mean, would you rather have the sheriff handling it or the federal government? You know, the sheriff's department their job is to uphold the Constitution in the state, and they are the highest authority, and enough authority to turn back the feds. So, I mean, sheriffs are important people in our structure. So, what do you guys think about that? I mean, he's basically saying, "Let us take it, let us do it." But then there's other people that say, "Well, you know, we need to have a better conversation about it because we're worried about misusage, right?" But I would be more worried about federal misusage at this stage of the game than local misusage. But you know, then again, there's plenty of corrupt local people around. We see that in the justice system. We see that in the police force. We see that in a lot of places. So it's an interesting conversation, and I think that there's more to be said about this, man. There's more to be said. But anyways, you guys, what do you think? What do you think out there? Are you there? Are you kidding? Hello? Hello? Do I need to... You guys awake? Let's do some dancing here. How about we just do some dancing? All right, we got our blood pumping now. Let's go. Oh, but according to Schumer, we have nothing to stop these drones, right? Right? We don't have them. Well, what? I don't understand why we have to pass legislation on the federal level to enable sheriffs and local from engaging in contracting these technologies themselves. I mean, what is it that's holding them back? Why do we need to have the federal government go, okay, you can do it now? Is that maybe what we do need is less federal oversight and more local initiative, right? Why can't the local governments make contracts with this Robin technology on their own? Why they need to have the federal government involved in it? Maybe that's the problem right there, Wolfram. Maybe that's the problem right there. All right, let's just board up one more time tonight, and we're gonna get on out of here. I appreciate you guys coming out for the root cause analysis show. It's a catchy title. I'm sure a lot of people are into it, which most people just want to be told what to think. I want to think with you. I can tell you what to think. I can tell you what to think. Don't believe the grifts. Don't jump the shark. Think these things. Think these things. All right. I don't know. So if we were to postulate, possibility, we've kind of thrown things in these buckets here, and I have to change this one. I think these can pretty much, I'd leave a few of them up here. I don't know that this relates to itself. Military ops. Let's just say government ops. I don't know, but I don't even mess with it right now. This probably can just go off the board. But we've gathered enough evidence here. Do we have a most likely explanation for this? I mean, what have we seen? If everything got thrown at you tonight, right? And it's been a lot. And that's what the show was designed for. It was designed to be a lot. And everything got thrown at you. What do you think? Like, what would be your most likely explanation after hearing all this, right? Heidi, Wolfram, T-Rex, Shelly, if you're still there. I know she's still there in some capacity, but if you're still with me, Lex, if you're still there, Ronnie, if you're still there, anybody that's been hanging out for the ride, it's your turn to tell me. After hearing all this, going through everything, we've gone through all the grifts, the misinformation, I mean, who knows why this nuclear sniffing thing came out of government and came out of these intelligence departments, and people want us to think that was what's going on. Winning, you can read my chat a few up. A lot budgeting. Give your thoughts. Okay, I know you're always here, babe. All right. So what does it say here? The Marines absolutely vertical takeoff plane. That's what you want me to read? We know for a fact the government agencies, military branches have to burn through their budgets before the end of the fiscal year to retain their current budgeting. What if these are all? Well, I mean, are they operating the hobby? Are they is it like activating hobbyists and trolls by simply running the attention based programming? Right? Get attention now. Do something with a drone. Get attention now. Do something with a drone. I hear you on that. You say one thing that makes sense, but then I have to try to make sense of how it fits into a most likely explanation for the scenario. I think it's a combination, honestly. I'll give you my take. I think it's a combination, and I felt like I was going to think this going in, but I think it's a combination of these two things in a sense that, and what I would say is I would take one thing leads to another, right? Sensationalism, uptick in drone usage, ability to fly at night, starts in an area known for sensationalizing flying craft, the unexplained phenomena in the air. It spreads like wildfire through media, stoking the narrative, slow news cycle, right? Becomes a national talking point, dominates the news cycle. All right, then government has to get involved because people start demanding answers, because those most people that are halfway paying attention to anything go like, drones over my house, and they start getting all like, you ain't gonna do this to me, government. Then they start getting all wild up. And then the senators and the congressmen and the mayors and everybody the police are getting called left and right to investigate shit. They're bitching like, man, goddamn, how many more of these calls got to go on tonight, right? Okay, yes, ma'am. The lines are tied up. Yes, okay, you've seen a drone. Will you please send that information to this? There's people involved in this on all levels that are dealing with the situation, far beyond a bunch of us on the internet sitting here trying to figure it out. They're actually answering the phones, going on the calls, listening to people going, I saw a drone over my house and it was smiling at me. Tell it to stop smiling at me. I don't want a drone smiling at me, And I saw one, it was 50 feet long and was shooting laser beams out of its eyes, right? And then, you got all this stuff, and then you got then of course here comes the revelations, man. It's the angels. It's just like an angel. I saw it through my telescope, And of course, the New Agers are going to get in on this. So the Galactic Federation, the aliens, they want us to evolve to the fifth dimension. They don't even know what the fifth dimension is, but they think that 5D Earth is supposed to happen. They don't know what a fifth dimension is, but it's supposed to happen because this is 3D Earth, and of course, you have to evolve to the fifth dimension next, right? Then the people who don't trust government, like most of us, but really don't trust them. The conspiracy under every fucking rock. It's Project Bluebeam. They're going to run it. They're running the Project Bluebeam. Here we go. You got all these people out there ramping up the narrative from all different takes. And, then you got the ones going out, secret inside sources tell me that it's nuclear weapons and they're prepping for war, and CIA inside job. Alex Jones is on there 24/7. CIA inside, it's the CIA, it's the CIA. It's like everybody ramps it up and it becomes this hysteria, right? So the government has to react to it. The internet's certainly going to react to it. The media has to respond to it because it's what's going on. One thing makes the other happen, and all of a sudden it's all spitting up. So that, you have this hysteria happening. Then more people start getting in on it. I'm going to go fly my drone up and find out what it is myself, right? Oh, I'm going to shoot it down. I'm going to do it. And like, oh, hey, go get the picture of base now, right? Nobody looking, and then it's like, we got all this coming out, right? And boy, there's people coming out every hour, content creators coming out every hour with more speculation coming out here, right here. Here's some more people who think they know what they're talking about, and let me put it out here. And because I don't make any sense, I have 1 million viewers, and 500,000 people are going to see this. So then the 500,000 people see it, and their algorithm starts giving them more of the same, and so now it's all over the place to them. So the algorithm's in play here too, and then you have this going on. Well, we know that they tried to pass legislation, and it didn't go through. Right. But this is the perfect, in more than manufacturing consent, it's like crisis. Never let the crisis go to waste, kind of like opportunistic manufacturing. Can I put that in there? Opportunistic. Is that right? It's going to tell me I'm wrong, isn't it? Nope. Okay, got it. All right. Opportunistic manufacturing of consent, right? Now I need to spend more, people. I got my sweater on. I'm Chuck Schumer. I'm being a nice guy, guys. I'm good now. I'm good. I'm here for you. I'm doing my job now. Let's just sneak this in here, get some money in the pocket. Chucky got Christmas bills. So they see an opportunity to create consent for more legislation and spending. I should add spending to this. And voila, off we go. And the media is going to help. They're going to help. Well, they don't know what they're doing. Well, let's send some more people in there to confuse the fuck out of those dumbasses. Why not? Let's do it. They'll say anything. They're like Mikey. They'll try anything. They'll eat any cereal we put in front of them. So I don't think that they're at this point yet. So we'll probably take this out. Technology testing of maybe. We'll put this over here. I doubt it, because we can't tie these things back to anything, but we cannot tie them back, right? So put this over here in the maybe bucket. And took out spying. The spying is unlikely. They can just do that. They can just use our phones for that, right, guys? Use our phones for that spying. Americans spy, government spying. I have to say government. Government spying, American foreign adversary, intel. Oops, don't want that. Okay, that's good enough. All right. So, hey, I hijacked Heidi. You hijacked Heidi? Oh, yeah, hijacking Heidi. Who's Johnny? He said. They said. Listen. After this stream, if one more person says the word drone done to me today, I'm going to lose my shit. The word drone isn't even a real word anymore. Drone. Drone trucks are coming. Hey, T-Rex, after the stream, I want you to come over and hang out, and we'll talk about drones. All right? But anyways, and you guys poke holes in my theories. All right, that's all I want you here to do. And I want to, it ain't just about me trying to figure it out. I want you guys to learn how to do it too. I mean, you pretty much do know how to do it, but I want you to have a place to be able to do it if you like doing stuff like that. It's likable stuff. Let's see. It's about drone. Marsha. You know what? At this point, the drones are practicing for when they all light up and form a giant Trump face in the sky for you. Oh man, that'd be great. That's a good. There you go. There you go. See, there's something we could all agree on how great that would be. It's like something you've never seen. They say we've never seen it before. They never had it. It was the greatest night of our lives. No one had a better life than that. No one ever had a better night than that. See, it was the greatest night of all times. Probably was. So I have a hard time believing that I've yet to see any real drone footage, though. I mean, all this shit we've seen looks the same, doesn't it? It's like the UFO footage. It's just the same shit. Stop it. Right? It's the same old shit, different day. But people are like, well, that's definitely a drone. Definitely a drone. I'm Jim Bob from Smyrna, Georgia, and I know it. I live near the airport and they were flying low. It's like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. You know who's not talking about this? Observation time. Observations. Ain't good. You know, there's no state of emergency been declared. There's no flight restrictions. Drones are running anti-collision lights. Most reports are confirmed hearsay or non-expert eyewitnesses. The military is not on alert. We have yet to see. Let's start adding to this observations bucket real quick. Yet to see any good real footage of drones. You know, like that's one. Okay, you're just telling me that. And you're not showing me it. I want to see the mother freaking dude. Drones flying at night in set areas and or flying in a pattern or formation. Can you guys agree with that? Right? We haven't seen it. Yet to see it. We haven't seen it. Not there. Do we have any questions? Let's see. We don't know about that. Launching underwater. We don't know where they're launching and return to. That question hasn't been answered. Any other questions not answered? We need to put on the questions board. What questions can we ask? Get in here. Dang it. Jim Bob can't even tell the difference between his sister and his wife. He's an expert in aeronautics for sure. Shelly. Look, the same with her. Do I have to invite people in here? Do you guys want to all come? Everybody want to come in? How about everybody? Wolfram, Heidi, Shelly, T-Rex, everybody get in. Just come on. Let's just do a panel. Let's just have a panel of a bunch of people talking. I haven't done that in forever. Winning, I'll come back there and talk to you about drones dropping smart dust on northern New Jersey. How about you come up here and talk about it? Well, you guys want to go for, what time is it? We got Wolfram for at least another 22 minutes. We got him for another 20. We get 22-minute panel. We'll make it a full 3 hours and a half. It'll be the greatest night of your life. Who wants to come in? I want to freaking just drop the goddamn StreamYards link in chat. Anybody's out? It's only 13 of us here, anyways. Who wants to come in and yak for a while? I'm getting tired. Let's see. All right, there you go. I'm gonna do it. Boom. I've done it. Whoever comes in can come in and talk. I expect a couple people to come in who normally come in. I'm just putting the link there. And if I don't know you, you're gonna get thoroughly looked into before you come on my panel. You'll have to be on camera if I don't know you. But if I do know you, and I do know that you're an avatar anyways, like Heidi and Wolfram, you're fine. But let's do something different. Let's get a discussion going. Maybe just me talking from this microphone by myself isn't what we need to do. Jacob Castro, what's up? You come on over, man. Come on to the YouTube side. Come on the panel, dude. Well, come on panel. You want to come on panel, Jacob? Chores. Well, it's good to see you, dude. It's good to see you. There's Shelly. Yay. Look at her Christmas sweater. Look at that. Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
Let's see if my mic works. There we go. Yay.
It does work.
T-Rex, get your ass in here.
Yeah, T-Rex, get in here. Open panel. I'm just like,
I can't
do it.
believe you put that up there.
I don't, you know what? Someone wants to get in the crosshairs, they can. I mean, I'm talking about anybody being dumbass with it. I mean, I trust the people that are in there. I trust Wolfram and Heidi and T-Rex and
Thanks, Heidi.
all that. I'm not gonna leave it up very long though. I'll be
No, I
deleting
know.
it here shortly.
Stop
Why
in the
not?
short-
Why not go another 22 minutes? Yes, shoot, hit it.
No, I'm just saying, like,
lady.
it's like some of these people have never lived near an airport. Do they have any idea just the sheer number of airplanes that take off and land all day long, all night long? Because they're not just passengers. You got FedEx, you got DHL, you got, the post office. They all take off from the same places. There he is.
What's up, folks?
Hey, T-Rex.
What's up?
Drone. Stop me. I dare you.
I could be anywhere. Unfortunately, I'm in Louisville right now, but
Ooh. Go buy a bat.
but
Go buy a bat. Isn't that where they make the Louisville Slugger?
it might be.
Might be. There's a huge freaking factory, I believe, with a big bat across the front of it. And not like Batman. Like home run.
I thought it'd be the bat, like the ones that fly out of caves at dusk.
I want to know who the geniuses are who think they're going to shoot a drone out of the sky with a handgun.
Same people that shoot guns up into the sky on New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah. Those are fun when they land. I don't get it. Do these people not know about gravity?
Well, also, like, in a highly populated area like Newark and Hoboken and all those little towns around there, like, my goodness.
But they're talking about, like, helicopters and air taxis and whatever. I live literally on the Hudson River. There are thousands of helicopters that go through a day. And that's not regulated at all. You know how I know? Because we fought to have them reduce the number because the noise pollution was ridiculous. Like, you couldn't hear all day long. And that's just what they do. They just taxi up and down, up and down. It stopped for a little while around 9/11 because they restricted the airspace for that kind of stuff. But it started right back up again.
Like a tourism thing or more like
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't.
Oh, yeah. People pay tons of money. It's a 10, 15-minute ride. So they could do like 3 to 4 an hour. And they have fleets of helicopters. Never mind the executives that have the landing pads on the tops of the buildings and the skyscrapers because they don't want to deal with midtown traffic. I mean, it's a lot.
Say. I mean, that's how Kobe ended up dying from avoiding LA traffic. And
the problem is we're looking at it from our point of view, everyday people, everyday life. These people don't live like that. They fly everywhere. They don't have time to sit in traffic. And they have the money to just zip here, zip there, zip there. I mean, how many times Chris Christie wanted a freaking sandwich and he landed in the park with the freaking Army helicopter? I was like, are you kidding me? Like, he just appeared out of nowhere. Sure, we'll just shut down the park so you can go get a pizza or a sandwich or whatever the fuck he was getting. Anyway, don't get me started on Chris Christie.
There's
but
also, my thing is when it comes to the drones and stuff, like if the military, the government, whatever you want to call it, thought they were hostile in any way, like they'd be taking care of it. Like, I know people talk about, oh, well, that balloon wasn't taken care of. Like, we don't know that necessarily. We don't know if they disabled all the surveillance stuff on the balloon.
We also don't exactly know who it belonged to. Let's face it. If the government tells us it's from somebody else, is it really, or are they covering their own ass? Like, oh, the government lied to us? Shock. Oh, tell me another one. Is the sky blue?
Is a politician lying because their mouth is moving?
Mm-hmm. Lex, I'd
Oh.
come on, but I'm not home and I'm doing something. In other words, no. Denied. Denied. Heidi has stage fright. Aw.
Bet Jacob Peets would come up here if you were around.
Oh, he definitely would. Wait, let me summon him. Let me summon him. Pete, where are you? Maybe one of the drones will take a message to him in Florida. But I just think it's
people saying that they're actually starting to fly packages with drones. You know this drone package delivery thing in Florida, really?
Yeah, I saw a news
have
story
you
where
seen
a guy
them?
got arrested because he shot one out of the sky.
Yeah, but have you seen
We
the
are
drone
moving-
deliveries? They go to your backyard and then just drop your shit.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
I'm not messing with my
Pigeon
computer. You're
carrier.
lucky that I can even be on here at this point.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know.
Everything's gonna come crashing down.
I'll find it. I'm resourceful.
I mean, so
FedEx drone.
I sent a chat earlier, and like I don't
FedEx
think
drone.
it got addressed. Like
Nothing.
there are people reporting that these drones are like spraying something. Like, and I
Oh,
haven't.
God.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I
but
know. I was like, ooh, I was going through the checklist for winning. I was like, ooh, we got chemtrails. Ooh, we got angels. Ooh, we got Anunnaki. Ooh, we got aliens from Orion's belt. Ooh, flat earthers. We're getting like all of them. They were just boom, 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 one after another. First of all, if it's aliens and they're looking for intelligent life, they ain't gonna go to Jersey. Let's face it.
I mean, yeah, all
They're
the
just
smart
not.
ones left.
No, they're
all right.
They're not going to Jersey. What are they gonna do? Go chat with Phil Murphy? Please.
Everybody wants to chat with Phil Murphy. All right, here we go. Just
I'd
check
be
this out,
afraid of
guys.
him biting me. God, with those teeth.
Yeah.
Amazon first touted its then futuristic idea of delivering packages by drone a decade ago, but the company
8
now
days ago.
officially has begun package deliveries using drones. It's to customers in
I told
Arizona.
you it was Bezos.
When she's in Phoenix, Kate.
Hello, I'm in Phoenix.
Hey, David. Yeah, so Amazon has been testing these drones across the country really for years, but they officially went live here in Phoenix about a month ago. Amazon is now using drones to deliver
About a month ago, Amazon went live with drones.
packages around the Phoenix metro area. These aircrafts, they're meant for smaller items fit in a shoebox, for example. They weigh less than 5 pounds or less.
Oh,
We
look at
saw
that.
the example we
Fucking
saw here that was delivered was a Jenga game. You pay about 10
Yes.
extra
Did
bucks
you
for
see? Just drop it. They're like,
faster.
fuck it.
You do also have to confirm where you want it dropped off on a map of your property, so you kind of have to set it up. There have been some drastic design changes as well over the years. They cut the noise of these recent aircrafts by about 40%. They can now go roughly double the distance. Also, through testing, figured out things like
God, the
dogs. Some
car
dogs like
size.
to chase drones, as you can imagine, so they changed some of the design. I did sit down with Amazon executive David Carbon, who spent nearly a decade at Boeing. He tells me managing airspace has been the biggest challenge and does see drones as a supplement to Amazon's truck drivers.
At the end of the day, we're going to need every facet of delivery that we can get our hands on. There's not enough people on Earth to deliver how much people are going to order. So I don't see this
Nobody goes to
impacting that at all. This is
stores
about
anymore.
speed. It's not about anything else. It's about safety and speed.
Yeah.
Amazon got FAA approval for its MK30 drones back in October. This drone site where we are here is integrated directly with the same-day fulfillment center, which is how Amazon plans to scale this program quickly. I'm told they're going to be rolling out in new cities next year. The goal, they say, 500 million deliveries a year within 30 minutes or less. So far, they've done thousands of deliveries. There's still a wide gap there.
explains
And
what
there is
happens to a lot of
competition.
my
Others
packages.
like Google and Walmart are now successfully rolling out similar programs, guys.
Oh.
Can you imagine that thing
Ah.
tries to land in your
Down a long, quiet
backyard
road.
and your dog takes a run and jump for it, and now you have just like sliced up puppy?
Surrounded by farmland in Central
Oh,
California,
crypto
there's a
would
warehouse that was once
absolutely
used for
do
concrete
that.
manufacturing. Now it's where Amazon launches drones.
Look at that. You put the box in the ass, and it's
To
on
deliver
its way.
items under 5 pounds to a handful of homes in the 4,000 person town. Or at least that's what's supposed to happen.
Slide your
I would love
package
to see
into
the
the
drones
box,
flying around.
into the slot, and off it goes.
Get a job. There's new
That's how it
jobs.
works.
Box hole stuffer.
Mm. Why does all the weird shit happen in California?
My understanding was that's been outlawed in all states except Nevada.
Why? Because it's all
Was
freaking
Florida?
desert.
No. Stuffing a box for profit.
Oh. I didn't follow you there, T-Rex. I apologize. I apologize.
Oh my God. A fixed wing.
A fixed wing. What the hell is that?
This I mean, and like I've said since the topic got brought up, like and when he said it multiple times, like
Astro.
people are morons, and they probably are looking up at the sky and for the first
Expands
time
other
in
developing
their
nations and even
freaking
the
life,
US. That's beating
and they're
Amazon to
like,
drone deliveries.
"Oh, there are
Zipline has
lights
already
up
logged
there."
over
Like, yeah, those are
186,000
called
miles and completed more than
airplanes.
4,000 deliveries since 2016.
Listen, I was
The
never
company has
so
focused on
aware of
delivering blood and
airplanes over
life-saving
my
medical
head
products
until
to hard
9/11.
Meet the company that's
Hold on.
And I literally used to clock every single one I heard.
I mean, I live in the approach class.
Meet the company that's beating Amazon to drone deliveries. Zipline has already logged over 186,000 miles and completed more than 4,000 deliveries since 2016. The company has focused on delivering blood and life-saving medical products to hard-to-reach areas in Rwanda, but will soon expand to other developing nations and even the U.S.
The service that Zipline provides allows any doctor or nurse anywhere in the country to basically send a text message and get the product that they need 15 to 30 minutes later.
Like traditional logistics companies, Zipline is paid per delivery. Its drone system is 4 times faster than the average quadcopter and can serve an area 200 times as large. 1/3 of the deliveries in Rwanda were for life-critical situations.
If a patient shows up at one of the hospitals and
Rwanda
happens to need a transfusion
forever.
of that blood type, Zipline actually
Those
can
look
deliver that
simple enough to
specific
be like
product from our
model
distribution
airplanes.
center to the hospital so quickly that the patient actually doesn't know the product wasn't stocked at the hospital to begin with.
Here's how it works.
When that text message is received at the distribution center, we will immediately take that product out of our central store, load it into a box, and then that box gets placed into one of our zips, which is one of these autonomous aircraft.
Once loaded, the drone is catapulted into the air on a launcher. Using military-grade GPS, the drones navigate to the healthcare centers that Zipline serves and drop their package from the air on a paper parachute before returning to the distribution centers.
We're actually using
Here's your
an
heart.
active recovery system that takes inspiration from an aircraft carrier.
me.
We're actually tracking the plane with about centimeter level accuracy, and we can pluck the plane out of the air and then basically swing it down so that our flight operators can immediately grab it, load a new package, and launch it again.
Zipline will start making
Dang.
deliveries in the U.S.
That's cool.
That is
I'm
cool.
sorry, but that's cool.
That is pretty cool. I do see one problem with it, though.
That's what I said, Heidi. Oh, here's your heart drop. Maybe not.
I'm just thinking, like, if people know that these things are up there flying around with, like, freaking drugs and stuff, like, they're not going to last long up there if they fly over.
If
like,
you
the
think
south side of
they're not
Chicago.
using them already to transport drugs, you're nuts.
I mean, of course, we know that there are, like, cartels are flying.
Drug cartels have
illegal
more
shit.
money than God.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, we know that they're flying drones straight over the border with
the hell?
illegal stuff.
Why are you playing that music?
Copyrighted.
Oh, look,
Are you
is
watching
that
the screen?
Is that Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. I wanted to know why you were playing the music, though.
I
Usually get
didn't
hit
play
for
the
that.
music. It's in the video.
Mm.
Oh, you mean why I let it play?
Yeah.
Imagine,
Look at
like,
that.
all the door dashers are going to go out of business. Like,
Oh, no, they're not. Do you know how many birds are going to be chasing that? Seagulls, especially. They're like, I smell food. Why do I smell food up
Oh,
here? Let me go get it.
like homeless. I'm like, look at it, there it goes. They're gonna beat you out
And
there. Oh my
For
goodness.
the medical stuff, who's to stop people from intercepting it for black market sale?
That's exactly what I was getting at.
Because
this
we
is a
know
guy
there's a
taking
problem in
T-Rex
that
job.
area already.
Do, 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 do.
None of these things would work in high crime areas.
On the
None of
verge.
them.
I mean, I'm just thinking, like, if the government was
They're
really
cool,
that
though.
worried about these drones, they'd be shooting them out of the sky. And the fact that they're not makes me think that they at least know what's going on, if not are directly responsible for it.
Mm.
I wanted to see the one in Florida. I keep looking for it.
There's a news story about a guy who pew-pewed one right out of the sky and got arrested for it.
Didn't he get? He had to pay for like a $5,000 drone because he wrecked it.
I can't find the
It was
news
either
story.
$3,000 or $5,000. But why are these drones so expensive? That if it costs $5,000 for a small drone like the one he shot down, then that tells me government, because they overspend on everything.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, you got to think like a Predator is like a freaking multi-million-dollar piece of equipment.
That's what's in the drones. The drones are carrying the illegals and just dropping them off in Jersey. That's what it is. Problem solved. There we go.
Yep, we figured it out.
Nobody went there. Why did nobody go there?
I still like the idea that they're just looking for Bigfoot. They're like bound and determined to find
That's
him.
Pennsylvania. That's where I'm at
Bigfoot
now. Jersey is the Jersey Devil.
Bigfoot
The
has
ones
been
in
seen
Texas are looking for the chupacabra.
I mean, Bigfoot's also known to be in the Pacific Northwest as well.
Okay, well, they were spotted in Oregon, right? There you go.
Well, here's the thing too, right? That the people saying, like, I've seen people say, "Oh, we see the drones in Ohio now. We see them up in Maine. We see them in New Jersey. We see them down in Florida." I'm like, maybe
Don't forget Georgia.
Maybe you're just seeing airplanes.
Well, they went to Washington looking for honest, intelligent life and had to leave. They came up empty.
Imagine the aliens do land and they go, "Take me to your leader," and then you like have to take them to Biden. Oh my god!
And he goes, "Oh, you want some ice cream? You got any little girls I can sniff?" Stop it.
Oh no!
What do alien girls' hair smell like? Pantene. That's what it smells like. I can't. I'm in rare form. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you are. It's awesome.
Oh.
Oh.
That time of year. We just let it all hang out.
That time of year, that time of month, whatever.
Where listen, most streamers take this Friday through like this first week of January off streaming anyway, so
Excuse you, Castro. I actually have a picture of Bigfoot Goose in my mother's butt. Okay? Taken recently, like 2 months ago. Because of course she posed to do that.
El
I was like, go put that shit on the internet, right? She's like, you better not. It doesn't look like it's goosing it though. It looks like it's doing something else. So I was like, nah, if I put that on my Discord, I'll get my Discord taken away. That's my mom.
That's your mother.
Yeah, trust me. If I knew what Bigfoot ate, I would spray her in it and just send her out into the woods.
I mean, we know
Go
what
ahead, Ma. You
bears
wanted to
like.
exercise. Run.
You could just do. I mean, you know what bears like, so I mean, there are black
No,
bears
she's got
around.
bear mace. They all
That
have
shit-
bear mace.
That shit don't work if they're hungry enough.
You know what works? Me staying in the house. That's what works.
You know what they say. You don't gotta be faster than the bear. You just gotta be faster than your friend.
Well, I'm faster than my mother and my kid. So they are assed out. You are SOL, mama. I do say, yeah, no, I don't want your Discord. Listen, Castro, if you met my mother, you'd spray her in Bigfoot edible too. She's a wonderful woman. I love her. Yeah, bear mace doesn't work.
Oh no! That is
It
the
is what it
funniest
is.
joke you have ever told.
That's not true. That's not true.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, so I think we saw the mystery. It's definitely Santa Claus. Santa Claus is now in the drone delivery business. That's what it is.
That is as plausible as any other thing I've heard.
It's more
So-
plausible.
Yep.
Just look
So
at the
Mystery
colors
Solved
on all the
Gang.
drones.
We've done
Red
it
and green.
again.
Come on, obviously Christmas.
Obviously Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
Absolutely. How else he gonna get around?
Yep. You know, that's what it is. All right, guys.
He's
We've
taking
had a lot
that
of fun
6
here
foot
tonight.
distancing a little to heart.
We've had a lot of fun here tonight, but it's Wolfram's bedtime. And we need to get on out of here. I thank each and every one of you for coming out this evening and enjoying the show. I'll be back tomorrow night, God willing, with winning 2024 and where we won't talk about drones. How about that? We got all out
Yay.
tonight. We're talking about
This
something
was good,
completely
though.
different.
You
It was
definitely
good. We
covered a
got it
lot of
all out.
ground.
Yeah, you know, and I think, you know, as far as the most likely explanation, I think we've kind of whittled it down. Now we're gonna watch. Now we're gonna sit and watch, and we're gonna see. And I bet come next month we won't be talking about this anymore.
Oh, probably not. I mean, it's all. Isn't
This will go
everything
the
just
same
a-
way as the
Next
killer
look
bees.
forward to doing it again next year.
Isn't
All
everything
new
just a
conspiracy theories.
distraction? Ugh.
Murder hornet. Remember those? They lasted about 12 hours.
Remember monkeypox?
Yeah.
That was a thing for like a
Yeah,
couple days.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Anybody still
Hey, cool gamer.
messing
what's
around out
up?
there? Cool gamer, what's going on, man? We're just getting ready to get out of here, but it's great to see you, and I thank you as
Hell
always
yeah.
for supporting the channel. You're an awesome dude. Yeah. But anyways, I will be back tomorrow night with winning 2024, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. I hope to see y'all there. And until that, I gotta do a special outro here. Until that time, each and every one of you stay based and keep on winning. On a second. Hold on. I had to cut that short. Shelly has a show tomorrow, and you guys need to go see it. It's at 12 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube and Rumble. Please go to Shelly's show tomorrow. It's a very Christmassy special. I don't know. What are you going to do tomorrow, Shelly?
Tomorrow is the origins of envy, and would the human race be the same without it? It's about like the mark of Cain and who Cain married and everything that followed. So I'd really like some input on that. So I'll be discussing that. And again, that was a Grimmy inspired thing because I never really covered the envy angle the way I wanted to. So we'll talk about that tomorrow.
All right. There you have it. We took care of all the business we need to take care of. Now we're out of here, you guys. Stay based and keep on winning.
This is a friendship battle.